chip off. Okay, we're about to do the national anthem. Have Brendan call Chip and tell Chip to include his broadcast ASAP. Thank you. Text me with the result. I gotta go. Bye.
Hey, hey, banana, meow, meow, banana, hey, hey, hey.
Does he have the starting lineup supposed to get there? They still not have the starting lineup? So, from my understanding, we actually will still be live on the WBGU stream, so we can continue to broadcast as like that until I get Mixler started. Should be on the stream. It's whoever has the ones next to them they're starting.
Oh, perfect. That also works. John, yeah, I guessed it. All right.
I had to go through Google Chrome.
4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 17. 6, 8, 9, 10.
I don't have to log into the other Mixler, that's the thing.
I do. Well, I know the information.
The second Mixler?
Yeah. BGRSO2016@gmail.com, the one we use for softball.
Is it a full account?
I think so. I'm going off what you guys told me back in the spring of last year. I never used it.
We're going live.
On which one?
Mixler.
I know, but like the main one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello and welcome out to the Stroh Center here in Bowling Green, Ohio. I am Donovan Mann, alongside my broadcast partner, Tom Cassie, getting ready to bring you some BGSU volleyball here as part of the BGSU Invitational, the opener to the BGSU Invitational. We've been working through some technical difficulties, so there will be no pregame to this. We will get right into it and give you those starting lineups. First for the visiting Thundering Herd of Marshall. Go ahead.
It wouldn't be a broadcast if we didn't have technical difficulties, Donovan. But so with what we've seen from Marshall, the way that they label their starters, we've seen them referred to pins. What we have come to conclude is that what they refer to as pins are going to be their outside hitters and their right side hitters. And so as we go through the lineup, we have Joelle Coulter serving as one of those pins. The libero going to be Amber Weber. We also have Gabrielle Coulter, sister of Joelle, going to be a setter for this team. Mayan Weldon plays a variety of different positions, going to start out most likely as an outside hitter. We've got Lauren Matt Muller going to be the middle blocker, and also Shelby Conley, an additional pin, and Sierra DeBell, another pin player to watch for today. She is going to be rounding out the starting lineup. Donovan, who we got for the Falcons?
And for the BGSU Falcons, setter Isabel Marciniak will be starting today alongside outside hitter Isabel Kovacic, middle blocker Katie Kidwell, and another outside hitter Jacqueline Askin. Defensive specialist Taylor Harberland will be starting as well. Madeline Brandeweed, another middle, will be getting the start as well. And then, of course, the ever-so-talented libero Callie Simon, defending MAC Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year as well. Multiple BGSU records to her name. We are just about ready to get underway here. We're just waiting for some final signals. Reminder that new to the Stroh this year is instant replay for volleyball. The officials, well, rather the coaches, for either side, if they wish to challenge a play, will just whip out a green card and say, I'm going to challenge this, put it on the scorer's table, and we are ready to go. First serve is from Marshall, shooting left to right across your radio dial. Dug out here, now set up by Marciniak for Kovacic, tipped by the block, but dug out by Marshall. Set up here near side, thrown down here, hits the pin. That'll be an attack error and a point for BG. I believe that was number 4, Joey Coulter, on the attack there. Tom, 1-0 BG.
Now we got Simon back to serve, and the Coulter sisters, we'll talk more about them throughout the broadcast since we didn't get any pregame, but they are going to be an integral part for Marshall here today.
Callie Simon serves this one right to left. It's going to be dug out, set up here now, far side on the strong attack, but blocked at the net there by Kidwell, and it looks like Askin on it as well. I believe the attempted kill there was by Shelby Connolly, and the block by Askin, and Kidwell gives the Falcons a 2-0 lead. Simon to serve for the second straight time, gets this one up and over the net. Dug out, set up now far side, goes near side, thrown across, and dug out by Simon. Marciniak goes far side for Askin. Askin a little bit too much on that as she goes cross court from far to near side, and that'll be the first point for Marshall as it's now 2-1.
The area was there on that one, definitely for that strike. It was a little ambitious, but at the same time, I think it was the right idea.
Here comes the serve from libero Amber Weber, and the Falcons try to set this one up, but I believe Kidwell ends up throwing that one right into the net on the attack attempt. We are tied at 2.
You could tell right from the get-go there they weren't comfortable in how they were set up. They barely even got the serve dug out.
Junior libero serves this one up again, and Askin will dig it out. Marciniak goes middle 4. Askin off of the libero. Looks like Weber there. And then number 8, Leon Weldon, tries to keep it up with her foot, but just kicks it right into the net. Point BG, 3-2, and Falcons to serve on the side out now as Paulina Icabelli checks in for Isabel Kovacic. Icabelli to serve, always does the serving duties in the rotation when Kovacic's time comes. She gets this one up and over, dug out, now set up right in the middle. Weldon can't get it down as it's tipped at the net. Now set up for Askin on the tip kill here. It's going to be dug out right in the middle, now goes near side and thrown into the net. Kill credited there for Sierra DeBell. Sierra DeBell actually got a piece of the net as she hit that one. It took an awkward roll on the Falcons' defense, and they were unable to do anything with it. We are tied at 3. Side out, and serving now will be Sarah Schenk. This one's going to be dug out by Icabelli, set far side by Marciniak for Askin, who throws it down. On the near side of the court, Jacqueline Askin gets the kill, gives the Falcons the lead again as we have a back and forth affair going on here. Jacqueline Askin to serve.
Caitlin Meyer checking in as well for Taylor Haberland here early on.
Jacqueline Askin gets this one up. It's over the net. It's going to be dug out by Marshall here. Set up middle now near side. Throw across court, but dug out. Here now set up for Meyer. Meyer tips this one over the net. Dug out by the libero in Weber, and then thrown down. Did not catch who the kill was on there, Tom. But another point for BG.
An interesting strike right there as they pretty much just threw it right underneath the net, and I had to do a little double take to make sure that it wasn't over and a point for Marshall.
Askin to serve again. This one is a short lobbing. It's set back over. Kidwell's going to tip it over, but it's kept alive by Marshall. Thrown over for free possession as Simon digs it out. Marciniak to go in the middle for Kidwell. Kidwell tipped by the block, and it gets past the diving Ivan Trevechka.
We see him just early on in this match as we now get a timeout called by head coach Mitch Jacobs of Marshall, not liking what he's seeing early on. I mean, early takeaway. Kidwell and Askin at the net, they are getting very aggressive. They're unleashing all the power that we know they have behind their kill shots, and they have just played excellent thus far. I mean, granted, it's early and we're in the first set, but a 6-3 lead is definitely something you like to have.
A couple of players that played a very key role in the Falcons' run to the MAC regular season championship. Last year was, of course, Katie Kidwell and Jacqueline Askin. Jacqueline Askin was up and down all season, but she played a very key role. Katie Kidwell, multiple Defensive Player of the Week awards in the MAC. Once again, coming out strong with the blocks. We saw her early getting in on one. Askin has been very clean on the attack, Tom. How is it important, though, that they adjust? Once the defense adjusts to those two players, how is it important for the rest of the team to step up, and who do you think will be that player to step up?
I think the reality is we can't expect the excellent performances at the net to continue throughout the entire match. Granted, Kidwell has shown an ability to do that on some nights with her excellent ability to use her 6-foot size. But I think the biggest thing you're going to have to expect is you got to have clean digs coming out to get yourself opportunities to kill shots. And I think early on this season, granted, their out-of-conference schedule is always tough, but we see a lot of times the Falcons can get sloppy with how they set up, and they're giving free plays to the opposition. If they get set up for kill opportunities, you've seen with the power from Kidwell, Askin, and what you see from people like even Kovacic, the power's there. If they get a clean setup, they're in good position.
Score 6-3 Falcons as Askin will serve again, left to right across your radio dial. Dugout now, flip kill deception move there. I believe it was by setter Gabrielle Coulter. Gabrielle Coulter, sister to Joelle Coulter. A couple of freshmen. And now back to serve is Sierra DeBell. Put up and over the net. Icabelli digs it out. Marciniak goes near side for Kidwell. Kidwell on the delay move on the slide there. Hits it into the block. It lands down on Marshall's side. 7-4. Falcons have another 3-point lead.
Kidwell off to an outstanding start thus far as she now gets ready to serve, but she has been absolutely fantastic since she first came to Bowling Green last year, and it's going to be interesting to see just how far she can carry it tonight.
Kidwell puts this one up. It gets over the net. It's going to be dug out here on the far side kind of lazily, and now it's going to be thrown over for free possession as Kidwell digs it out. Falcons scrambling here as Marciniak gets it over to Askin, and now Marshall on the attack, tipped here on the attack attempt by Weldon. Falcons get it off the block, kept alive by Marshall now. Near side attack, though, goes dug out by Icabelli, the way past the baseline, and now Icabelli flings it over for a free possession. Dug out by Marshall, set up on the far side, but a little bit too far and tipped back over by Caitlin Meyer. Here we come now on the near side as Marshall has it. Icabelli digs it out, far side for Meyer. Meyer tries to go cross court from far to near side, but puts a little bit too much cheddar on it. And after a long rally, it'll be point for Marshall on the attack error there by freshman Caitlin Meyer. Caitlin Meyer, a young promising player for this Falcon team, but she's struggled with some inconsistencies when it goes cross court, but she still has a lot of upside, and the Falcons love what they see from her. Askin digs out to serve here as Marciniak gets it over for Brandy Weed. Brandy Weed was tipped by the block, and it goes past the baseline into the student section. Almost caught one of the players of 6'6" sitting down there on the front row, and it'll be a point for the Falcons off the tip. 8-5 Falcons over the Thundering Herd. Setter Marciniak to serve now from the near side, left to right. She puts this one up and over, but it's a service error. She puts too much under it. 8-6.
It's going to be an interesting battle going forward, too. The setters from each team, Marciniak, we know, an excellent setter with the ability to get service aces, but also Gabrielle Coulter from Marshall, excellent, has lit up games with assists. More on that later.
Coulter does serve, and she's dug out by Askin. Near side here by Marciniak for Brandy Weed. Brandy Weed right on the back baseline, goes with some power and gets the kill. Madeline Brandy Weed had a very successful Duquesne tournament. She struggled in the first match against Duquesne, but turned it around in that second match against Youngstown State and then UNLV as well, when the Falcons took those two matches. Here comes the serve, and it's dug out. Set up now here with a tip kill, dug out by Marciniak. Harberlin's going to set it up to the 10-foot line and free possession here as it's dug out by Weber. Set up here now far side for Coulter, dug out. Now Simon goes far side for Askin. Askin cross court, dug out. Set up now far side deception kill, kept alive by Brandy Weed. Marciniak's going to be the second touch, and once again Askin gets it over for a free play. Here comes a tip kill. Marciniak digs it out. Brandy Weed's going to set far side. Jousting at the net. Won by Marshall, and looks like Shelby Connolly. Shelby Connolly will get the kill. 9-7. Falcons up by 2 still. And we will have the serve now here from number 4, Joelle Kotler, who puts this one up over the net. Simon will dig it out. Marciniak near the net will set up near side for Kovacic. Kovacic with so much power throws it down on the back line there and gets the kill. And that's what Kovacic does best, Tom, is she just puts so much power on her kills.
BG's got some very hard hitters. My goodness, she put everything on that.
Callie Simon will be back to serve, the senior libero from Oregon, Ohio. Puts this one up and over. It's dug out, set up in the middle court here. Off of Marciniak, who tries to dig it out and into the stands. That'll be a point for the Thundering Herd, and it's now 10-8. Back to serve, libero Amber Weber. A junior, listed as libero and defensive specialist, but as a junior, she's, now we're going to have a delay here as the second official is being a little bit hesitant. Now she allows the side out, as checking in is Leon Weldon. And once again, Amber Weber will be the one serving. Reminder that this will be right to left, as that's the way the Thundering Herd are shooting. Harberlin digs it out. Marciniak's going to set it up on the far side for Askin. Askin on the tip kill, just a little bit too much underneath it, and that'll be an attack error there on Jacqueline Askin, and the Herd are back within 1.
It's her second error, but that's the right idea again. She went to the open space. You just got to hope that that falls.
Weber dug out awkwardly by Harberlin. Now this is going to be set up near the 10-foot line to Kovacic. Kovacic a little bit too little on it that time. She kind of hit it awkwardly too late, and we're tied at 10 now as that one goes into the net. And Weber will serve again. Up over the net, dug out by Simon. Marciniak at the net will set up Kidwell. Kidwell misplays it, but she gets the kill anyway on the punch tip. Wow, that just looked like a busted play there by Katie Kidwell, but she ends up getting underneath it just enough to get the tip kill. And it's going to be, looks like it might be that kind of match for the Falcons if they're getting things like that to work, Tom.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than to be good, but it's also nice when you're both, and that's Katie Kidwell.
Paulina Icabelli serves and puts too much underneath it as it ends up in the student section on the hop.
That's their second service error already thus far in the first set. Something you like to see cleaned up a little bit.
We are tied at 11 side out here, and now Sarah Shank will come in. Naperville, Illinois native. She's listed as a libero and outside hitter. She's kind of a tweener at 5'8", and she hits this one into the net. That'll be a point for the Falcons on back-to-back service errors there. 12-11 Falcons lead. I say that word tweener because outside hitters are usually north of 5'10" to around 6'3" at this level. Sometimes they're taller. As Askin serves this one left to right, it'll be dug out by Marshall. Set up here on the near side and thrown cross court. But the kill by DeBell is dug out and now sets up Meyer from Marciniak. Going here for DeBell again. She puts a little bit too much on this one, but I do believe it was actually tipped. No, it does land inbounds, they say. And we are tied at 12 again. As I was saying, though, about Sarah Shank, she's 5'8". She's kind of in between. You almost would think she'd be more of a defensive specialist, but they have her listed as a libero and outside hitter, which is a very weird combination to have somebody listed as. Meyer on the attack here is dug out. It goes near the scores table, but kept alive by a couple of Marshall players. Free possession here as this one's dug out by Igabelli. Set up near side for Kidwell. Kidwell right down at the feet of Sarah DeBell, who cannot get low enough to dig it out in time. There's that power working for Kidwell, and it's 13-12. Falcons are on the plus side of this back and forth 1-point rally.
She's having a night. 5 kills already in the midway point of the first set. Very impressive so far.
Kidwell putting up and over. It's going to be dug out by Marshall in the back corner. Set up her near side and flipped over. Second touch on Kidwell, and now I believe they're actually going to call a double touch, a 2-touch there on Kidwell as she tried to keep that one alive. She was, I think, playing to dig it out in the back corner, and I think it was Paulina Icabelli who ended up getting a hand on it first and just completely threw off how Kidwell had to play that ball. Side out, Jaden Jacobs, 5'6" defensive specialist / setter, comes in to serve. Marciniak sets up on the slide here for Brandy Weed. It's dug out by Marshall on the near side, tipped over the net. Meyer Deception move by Marciniak, but it's dug out by Jacobs. Set up here, blocked at the net was the attack attempt there by Marshall. It'll be tipped again, and it'll go down this time after the ball landed on Marshall's side, and then kept alive for Marshall, free play.
It's a nice kill right there by Joelle Coulter, and she's familiar with getting large kill totals. More on that just after this point.
Marshall up 14-13 now as Brandy Weed gets set up for the tip kill, but dug out. Set up, deception move, dug out by Icabella here. Now Marciniak's gonna go cross court, far side for Meyer. Meyer dug out by Marshall. Set up now here near side. Strong kill, tipped by the block. No, I believe there was no tip actually. Just goes straight from near side to far side. And the Falcons will tie it back up on the attack. They were there at 14. Paulina Icabelli checks out on the side out as Marciniak goes back to serve and Kovacic checks in. Left to right, Marciniak serves. She's dug out. Free possession for the Falcons as the dig was low and put over for the net. Set up Kovacic here, back corner. It goes down for the kill. I believe diving in there to try to make the dig was Shank, but she could not get to it. Falcons are back on top by 1. It's now 15-14. Marciniak's gonna put this one up and over the net on the serve. Dug out by Shank. Set up here now in the middle. Blocked. Solo there by Brandy Weaver, kept alive by Marshall. And now flipped into the net. Looks like it was going to be a free play ball, but Joelle Coulter could not get it over the net. She kind of whiffed on that one. It goes into the net. Falcons have a 2-point lead as it's now 16-14. Marciniak to serve again for third straight time. She's going to put this one up over the net. Dug out here by Shank. It's going to be set up near side here now for Coulter, but it's joust at the net. Won by Kovacic. A kill for the Falcons and Kovacic. 17-14, and that'll be timeout number 2 of the period for the Thundering Herd and head coach Mitch Jacobs. In his 17th season at the helm of the Herd, I believe I read on his profile 3 20-win seasons for him in his first 8 years at the helm. Of course, it's now 17, and he's had a very impressive tenure at Marshall.
Early on, he was really good, and his accolades are well known. He's a 2-time Conference USA Coach of the Year. And then in his first 8 seasons with the program, like you said, 7 20-plus win seasons. That's very impressive and something that's very admirable. But they're looking to bounce back from somewhat of a down year just a year ago. They were only 11-19. They were 6-8 in the conference, something they're definitely looking to improve upon. And I was just about to sing the praises of Joelle Coulter, and then she went and made the error at the net. But I will say she's going to be a name that we're going to hear a lot of throughout this match. Her and Sierra DeBell both, but Coulter in some of the more recent matches for the Thundering Herd. For example, when they played Ohio University just on last Wednesday, September 5th, 22 kills. Yes, you heard that right. 22 kills and a 4-set victory over an impressive team that expects to contend for the MAC championship. That is remarkable, and that's something we're going to want to watch going forward. Expected to have an impact in this game, and of course, Sierra DeBell constantly in the top 3 in kills. She had 16 in their most recent victory last Saturday against Georgia Tech in an impressive 3-1 win, and she's constantly at or near the top in blocks as well. Very versatile. She's going to play a large impact.
17-14 here. This one served up by Marciniak. It's dug out and kept alive by the Herd, who's going to have to flip it over for a free play. Tried the attack there, but Simon digs it out here. Now far side for Kovacic. Dug out here by Weber. Set up and tip kill there for the Herd. I believe we will credit the kill to Gabrielle Coulter.
That's just a smooth play, nothing too hard, too fancy about that. She's found a gap within the defense. Easy drop down, easy point.
Correction, the kill goes to number 9, Lauren Mattmuller. Here comes the serve, but it goes too far. Service error there on the Herd, on Gabrielle Coulter. And once again, 3-point lead for the Falcons as they creep closer to the red zone. 18-15 your score. Harberlin checks into serve for Caitlin Meyer. Put up over the net, dug out here by Shanks. Set up near side now for, that is number 10, Connolly, dug out. Simon's going to set up far side near the 10-foot line for Askin. Dug out by Weber. Set up here middle and thrown down hard for the kill there by Lauren Mattmuller, the middle hitter. 5'11" senior from Venice, Florida.
Doing what she just did on the point on the kill she got before. Same kind of idea. Nothing too hard, but great placement.
Put up and over the net. Askin digs it out. Set up here near side for Kovacic. Dug out by Weber. Set up now here in the middle for number 4, that is Coulter. Simon digs it out, but it ends up back on the Herd side. Kovacic with a great job to keep the flip back alive. Askin dug out. Set up here now far side. Shanks on the kill attempt, but it does go down for the kill as Askin couldn't dig it out cleanly. It ends up past the baseline of the Falcons side and out of bounds, back to a 1-point match, or 1-point set rather, 18-17. Falcons still on top. Here comes the serve, tipped by the net and kept alive by Askin. That was Coulter on the serve. Askin's going to be set up by Simon here. She's dug out for Weber on the kill attempt. In the middle here, thrown down past a diving Callie Simon. And that will be a timeout for the Falcons as we are all tied up at 18. Falcons were on a run, but then Lauren Mattmuller caught fire here. And the Falcons are going to have to try to kill that momentum of Marshall.
They sure will, and it's going to be something to watch. The Falcons, as we know, love to go with that at the net power kill shots, and they've worked very effectively thus far. Hence, we've seen why Katie Kidwell has a smooth 5 kills. But we're also seeing the different way to play it, and Lauren Mattmuller is a prime example here. Just recently, last few points, managing to get herself a pair of kills and really pose an issue to the Falcons defense because they're expecting such a hard hit. They're gearing up for sort of just a diving dig attempt, and lo and behold, Mattmuller's finding the gaps in the defense, finding the gaps in where the players are. Boom, easy point, easy kill. And so far, I think both teams have played well, but I also think both teams have played pretty sloppy, hence why you see it tied right now. I think that's something that both huddles are looking to clean up right now. I mean, we've talked about how Coach Mitch Jacobs, he's in his 17th year. He's not unfamiliar to these situations and what to say in these huddles. But Coach Tomich of the Falcons as well, she's in her 7th season. This is stuff that they expect to be cleaned up, and they know how to get cleaned up. You got to imagine that's what they're emphasizing right now.
Speaking of Lauren Mattmuller, she did not play much at the beginning of this set, but now she's been a featured part of the offense. We'll see if the Falcons adjust to her. She has 4 kills, by the way, and she's hitting .667.
She had 9 kills in the most recent victory against Georgia Tech. Again, impressive win last Saturday. 9 kills for her there, and she's picking up right where she left off, it looks like.
Joel Coulter back to serve. Outside hitter at 5'10", freshman from Manatee, Florida. Puts this one up and over the net. Simon will dig it out cleanly. Marciniak will set up in the middle for Brandy Weed. Brandy Weed's going to be dug out, though. Now Weber's going to set up here. It looks like DeBell. Simon digs out the kill attempt. Set up in the middle for Brandy Weed. Off of Weber and right down to the court. 19-18, Falcons back on top by 1. Great play set up there by Marciniak and setting up the strong arm of Brandy Weed.
Beautiful kill, and now she subs out Kidwell back into the middle. See if she picks up where she left off.
And now here comes Callie Simon to serve left to right across your radio dial. Dug out now, set up in the middle here, but just a little bit too much on it as the attack error there will be on Lauren Mattmuller. And so that'll be her first error of the match. 20-18, Falcons in the red zone, up by 2. Put this one up and over the net, dug out here by DeBell, set up in the middle, or correction, on the far side and off of a Falcon defender. Shelby Connolly will get the kill. So that one goes off of a defender, tipped past the baseline, and it's now 20-19, side out. And here comes number 5, libero Amber Weber to serve. Appearing in her 12th match and 42nd set of the season. Dug out by Harberlin. Marciniak's going to set up Kovacic, who's blocked. Askin gets down to dig it out. Here comes the set by Kidwell for Kovacic. And Kidwell will get herself an assist as Kovacic gets this one tipped down by the block and onto the Thundering Herd side. 21-19, Falcons trying to take the first set here as they creep closer and closer to that. They're up by 2. Paulina Akabelli checks into the game for Isabel Kovacic to serve. And we await. The second official has to confirm some scoring with the scoring table, and now we're ready to go. Akabelli puts this one up and over. It's dug out awkwardly and kept alive, though, here by the Herd. Set up far side for Connolly. Simon keeps it alive and sets up Askin. Askin tipped by the block, dug out by Coulter. Set up here by Weber for DeBell, dug out by Harberlin. Marciniak goes far side for Askin. Askin gets it in the back corner on the near side, and that'll be a point for the Falcons here as they take a, or correction, no, I guess they ruled it went out of bounds. I thought the official ruled that it was inbounds.
Sure looked like she signaled that. Now
the one that was literally standing right there, too. And this might be, no, we're not going to see the challenge card. It is a point for the Herd. 21-20, both teams in the red zone now here. I thought she pointed at.
I was about to sing the praises of Askin going for that same shot after missing it early on, and looked like she signaled that it was in. I don't know.
Shank serves, and it'll be a service ace as Ikebelli misplays it, and it goes right down at her feet, all tied at 21. Shank to serve again, coming off that service ace. Trying to have a tight, we're having a tight race here to the end of set number 1. Shank serves it up, Simon digs it out. Marciniak goes cross court far side for Askin. Askin dug out by Weber. kept alive by the Herd here, set up for DeBell. Simon digs it out. Marciniak sets the middle here for Kidwell. Dugout kept alive. Here comes a tip kill. Icabelli digs it out. Simon's going to go far side here for Askin. Askin, she's dug out now. Set up here, deception move, but it's dug out by Simon. Marciniak tries her own deception move, kept alive by Weber, and down it goes as it's badly played by Joelle Kotler. She was kind of caught on the ground because I think she was going to try to play that one, but Weber got to it first. She was still on the ground as she tried to set it up. And now a point for the Falcons, 22-21. They lead. Jacqueline Askin to serve on the side out as Taylor Harbland checks out and Caitlin Meyer replaces her. Dug out here and now set up on the far side. Tipped by at the block, DeBell. Simon, Marciniak for Kidwell. Kidwell tip kill, kept alive by Weber in company. Flipped over free play. Simon will set up Marciniak now in the middle for Kidwell. Kidwell tip by the block. Down it goes for a Falcon point. 23-21.
Kidwell getting back at it again, and challenging those people at the net, challenging what she's been seen as block attempts, and she has shown absolutely no fear. That's her 6th kill of the night, and we're only in the first set.
23-21. Askin serves it up just a little bit too far. Service error there on Jacqueline Askin, who can struggle in the service department at times, but she's also really good at it as well. During the Duquesne Invitational, she had a total of 8 service aces on the first day of the Invitational, 6 of which came in the first match. Kidwell set up by Marciniak. This one rides the net and then out of bounds. Very weird play there, but we're all tied at 23. Timeout BG as they are just trying to close out this set and take that 1-0 set lead. Well,
I kind of mentioned it earlier, and it seemed we were in agreement. But the match has been close, so the set has been close so far, and it's been enjoyable to watch. But both teams have played sloppy, and we've seen it again. That's 3 service errors now for the Falcons. That's a number that you really struggle to kind of deal with, especially when you're in a set as close as this. And if they lose this opening set here to the Thundering Herd, you can point back to that as one. You can point back to the attack errors as another. Askin has now missed on the same shot twice. A shot that, while it's looked good and it's been the right idea, has not been able to fall inbounds. Kidwell right there knew she had the pretty much right next to the net on the left side. She had it wide open, just caught too much of the net, and it ultimately took the ball out. I mean, thus far, we're in for a treat, and we've seen quite a bit to like. But at the same time, there's mistakes and there are sloppy errors that we know can be corrected from both sides. And it's going to be a matter of who makes those adjustments first, especially in this first set, because it's there for the taking from either side. And you can tell both coaches, they're emphasizing everything they can, just get the play rolling. The Falcons have had too many times, it seems like, where they're not getting clean digs and they're not getting clean sets for attacks. You keep that up, even if you're hanging in it right now. If you can't level that out and you can't get that fixed, you're going to fall behind.
So back to serve for the Thundering Herd as we're tied at 23 here in set number 1. Sierra DeBell. She'll do her dribble routine. Falcons are out hitting their opponents 174-159 as a team. Icabelli digs it out. Meyer has to keep it alive, and Simon will just send it over for a free play. Here comes a setup on the middle here, but Simon digs out the strong kill attempt there. Marciniak will go cross court for Meyer. Meyer's dug out by Weber. Here comes the setup on the near side for Kotler. Simon, Marciniak to Kidwell. Kidwell blocked in the net, kept alive by Simon though on Falcon side. And this one, as it looked like Marciniak, was going to try to hit it on the second hit there to try to get a deception move kill, just hits it way too hard. Set point now for the Thundering Herd as it's now 24-23. Jessie Holly checks into the match for the first time here today. She's missed some time due to an injury, but she has played in the last 2 games. Jessie Holly comes in and makes an instant impact on the kill there. Weber tips it out of bounds. We are tied at 24, extra points coming. And that right there, Jessie Holly comes in for her first play, gets the kill.
Makes Coach Tomich look like a genius right there. That's a set-saving point for now. And now you got Kidwell back to serve.
Katie Kidwell back to serve. Sophomore middle blocker. Puts this one up over the net. Dug out here. Set up on the 10-foot line. Dug out by Icabelli. The kill attempt there by Sarah DeBell. Set up for Jessie Holly. Jessie Holly tipped by the block. Set point Falcons now 25-24. Wow, you're right. Head coach Danielle Tomich looks like a total genius right now. Bringing in that fresh legs of Jessie Holly, who we saw her make an impact last season, and now she's making an instant one here in set number 1 of the BGSU Invitational. Kidwell serves it up. It's dug out by DeBell. Set up here near side, down, and we'll be tied at 25 now. I believe that one was thrown down by none other than Joelle Coulter.
Joelle Coulter, we know she can rack up kills in a hurry, and she's made plenty of mistakes thus far when we talked about sloppy play.
25.
But that's 3 kills already, and we're going to see what happens here.
25-25 as Jaden Jacobs serves this one up. Askin digs it out on the serve. Kidwell tipped to the net, and there we go. Kill number 3. Correction for Jessie Holly, tipped by the block, and then off of another Marshall player, and another point for BG. Another set point, 26-25. As Isabel Marciniak looking for the team's first service ace. Might want to try to put this one away here with a clean hit. She puts this one up and gets over the net. It's going to be dug out by Shanks. Set up at the net here. Far side thrown down. Kept alive by Askin. Right to us for media row. I make a play on it. Cannot catch it though. And we're tied at 26. Oh. So 26-26 as Gabrielle Coulter will get ready to serve this one up. This 5'9" freshman setter puts this one up and over the net. Low dig out there by Simon. Marciniak sets up Kovacic. Kovacic tipped by the block and down on the Marshall side in the back corner there on the far side. Once again, set point BG, 27-26, as they look to try to put this one away and get to the second set with a one set lead. Taylor Harberlin checks in for Jessie Holly to serve. This one will be put up. It gets over the net. Dug out by Weber. Here comes the setup on the near side. Dug out by Simon. The kill attempt there by Connolly. Set up near side for Kovacic. Kovacic is blocked at the net. And we will go once again tied at 27 all. Couple of Marshall players in there on the block. We'll get you their names in just a second. But that's an official tack error there on Isabel Kovacic, as it was Matt Muller and Connolly credited with the block assists. Serve it up here by Coulter. Marciniak sets up in the middle here for Brandy Weed, right off of Coulter, kept alive here by the Thundering Herd. Simon digs it out, middle here by Marciniak for Marciniak, kept alive off the foot of Coulter, and now Simon getting this one over to Askin. Askin tipped, and down it goes on the Thundering Herd side. Maybe just brushed the block, doesn't matter, it lands inbounds on the Marshall side. 28-27, set point again for the Falcons.
Can they put it away here and finish it at 29-27? They've kept the pressure on. They've just got to get the Herd to crack.
Callie Simon to serve, left to right. Puts this one dug out. We have a little bit of a play at the net here, but it's kept alive by the Herd. Now set up for Kovacic. She's dug out. Set up here now. Far side tipped by the block. Simon keeps it alive. Marciniak sets up middle for Kidwell. Kidwell with a strong kill! Point set. Falcons take set number 1, 29-27. And there you go, impact player in set number 1. You can name a couple of players, but you got to give it to Katie Kidwell. Efficient and strong there as the Falcons kept a cool head under pressure.
I mean, that entire set we just watched Kidwell show such a resiliency and a desire to just test that middle, that front line of the Thundering Herd. She went at him time and time again, and even on times where she was blocked, you could tell she wasn't intimidated, she wasn't affected. She went right back at him, and 7 kills in the first set. That's impressive. That's exactly what you need in a game, in a set where you had 3 service errors, you had a lot of sloppy plays, you had multiple different opportunities kind of wasted on free plays. Kidwell came in, 7 kills. Yeah, Jessie Holly essentially saved the set when they were facing set point there at 24-23. And Holly comes in with 3 straight kills to give the Falcons an opportunity to win the set. They continue to apply pressure on the Thundering Herd. And you got to give a lot of credit to Holly, Kovacic, and of course Katie Kidwell. 7 kills for Kidwell, 5 for Kovacic, and the 3 huge ones for Jessie Holly there down the stretch. That was just a really impressive showing. Coach Tomic showing that she knows more about volleyball than I ever will. Brings Holly in, immediately saves the set for him. That's just what experienced coaches do, Donovan. They know what to do every single time, I swear.
Certainly, yes. We've got about a minute and a half until set number 2. We will step aside and take a break. You're listening to BGSU Volleyball on Mixler.com, Falcon Radio, the TuneIn Radio app. And I think I got all the sources
everywhere
there.
At this point, technical difficulties are great.
All part of the Falcon Media Network. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for set number 2.
We welcome you back out to the Stroh Center here in Bowling Green, Ohio. Falcons and Thundering Herd getting ready to get the second set underway here momentarily. Tom Cassidy, Donovan Mann with you. Falcons pulled out a tight one in the first set by a final score of 29-27. Went to some extra points. Falcons applied pressure after Jesse Holly helped save set point early on. They kept applying pressure and ultimately got the Thundering Herd to crack. Some important names that we were going to be wanting to watch if we would have had the opportunity for pregame would have been, of course, Sierra DeBell and Joelle Coulter, two of the leading killers on this Marshall Thundering Herd team. And Sierra DeBell and Coulter, for that matter, have been, for the most part, held in check. Coulter with 4 kills, but also with 2 errors, and Sierra DeBell 3 kills and compared to only 1 error. But again, against Georgia Tech, Sierra DeBell was 16 kills in their impressive 3-1 victory on September 8th. She had 10 kills in their loss to Northern Illinois, played very well, also having 2 blocks with that one. And ultimately, she's shown that her versatility is an integral part of this Thundering Herd team, and containing her was a big reason why the Falcons, despite their inefficiency and, quite frankly, some sloppy play there early on, combined with 3 service errors, were able to pull away with that first set. We get to welcome back Donovan now. We're going to have to see what happens here going forward. DeBell, not a major factor, something that we would have expected. And quite frankly, Coulter, both the Coulter sisters, not doing a whole lot thus far. We'll see how that continues now. Haberlin serve up and over, dug out by DeBell. It's going to be set up now with an opportunity for that being Elswick, who had just checked in. And Brandon with a really nice tip kill at the top of the net. Amber Weber trying to get the dig to no dice, great diving attempt. Falcons take the first point of the second set, now lead 1-0. It's going to be Haberlin back to serve now once again from the left side.
Go back to your comment about not a lot of being heard from Coulter or DeBell, and that's just game planning right there for the Falcons. That is one thing head coach Danielle Tomic can do really well, is game plan. Being in one of those scouting reports meetings with her, it's just brilliant.
Joelle Coulter with a kill shot there on the left side, falls just a little out of bounds. That is now, I believe, that's her 3rd error on the match so far compared to only 4 kills. Some inefficiency we're not quite used to seeing. Haberlin now, Falcons up 2-0, gets to serve again. That one dug out by Weber, just barely. They're going to have to rush. It's going to be Conley just sending over for a free play. Now assignment to Marciniak, now to Askin. Askin, that's dug out by DeBell, and it's going to fall top of the net. Madeline Brandley right there to capitalize. Beautiful strike. Thundering Herd completely caught off guard there. Couldn't ever get themselves set up. Falcons off to a 3-0 start now. Give themselves great position here early on in the second set. Haberlin now back to serve once again for the Falcons. That's dug out by DeBell. Conley after rush. Now DeBell's going to send over for another free play. Brandui to Marciniak. Marciniak now sets it up for Kovacic. That's dug out by Weber. Now we've got Coulter, and that's going to fall into the net, blocked. Now Coulter's got to send over for another sort of free play. Marciniak now to Brandui. Brandui tipped at the net, falls down. That's a point BG. 4-0 Falcons ahead. Again, we're seeing the Thundering Herd kind of caught off guard, caught flat-footed. They're not quite in rhythm. You can tell Mitch Jacobs might be close to calling a timeout here for the Thundering Herd. But in the meantime, Haberlin's going to go ahead and take yet another serve. Falcons going to try and extend this lead.
And we actually see a defense or a substitution here, tactical one, as Ivan Tretriba steps in.
Now Haberlin, that's going to be a service error by Haberlin. Falls just too far out of bounds. Point for the Thundering Herd. They're now on the board. Falcons lead 4-1. We'll see if they can get the service errors cleaned up in this set. 3 for the Falcons in set number 1. Could have been something that a point to had they not been able to close out and finish that first set. Joelle Coulter to serve. That's up and over. Dug out by Simon. Now Marciniak sets up for Brandui. Beautiful shot there by Brandui. Might have been tipped just a little bit at the net. Fell short of Amber Weber. Diving attempt to no avail. Point BG. They get served back once again. Now Simon can be back to serve. 5-1 Falcons lead.
You almost wonder if you're seeing some tired legs from Marshall here, perhaps after the way that set number 1 went. Did they lose some heart after the result in that one?
Marciniak now going to set up for Kovacic. Kovacic, that's dug out by Gabrielle Coulter. Weber now sets up for DeBell. DeBell, that's a beautiful shot there along the back left side. DeBell very capable of using her height and her striking ability to really capitalize on some kill shots. That one right there we just saw. Now 5-2, Falcons still ahead. It's going to be the libero Amber Weber to serve. She has done great so far in terms of the dig department with 11 thus far. It's going to be a free play sent over by Jacqueline Askin. Now Gabrielle Coulter sets up for, that's going to be Ivan Trincheva. They're going to rule that inbounds along the right corner. Beautiful strike there by Trincheva. Another point for Marshall. 5-3 Falcons still ahead. Amber Weber back to serve once again. Weber serve up and over. This one dug out by Haberlin. Now Kovacic with the kill attempt. Weber digs it out. Gabrielle Coulter sends it up for her sister Joelle Coulter. That's dug out by Marciniak. Simon now sets up this one for Askin. Askin dug out by DeBell. Now Gabrielle Coulter, some traffic there at the net, as it was going to be number 13, Issa Dotel, who was trying to sort of get out of her own way, as she was almost the victim of getting crashed into and perhaps seen a volleyball come striking down on her head, and we know how hard those things are.
A blocking error there on that one. I guess they'll actually officially rule it an attacking error, but she got up all up in that net right there as she tried to make a play on it, and you can't do that. You cannot touch the net.
Polina Cabelli serves, dug out by Coulter, now scrambled. DeBell's gonna have to send it over for a free play for the Falcons. Marciniak now up, Askin with a nice strike. That's a nice dig by Weber, and a play at the net, won by Dotel. Falcons managed to send it over, incredible effort, and it falls inbounds. You can tell by the roar of the crowd, an incredible hustle play, fantastic effort to even get that ball onto the other side. The Thundering Herd completely expecting that to fall out of bounds. It nicked the line. And Falcons lead 7-3.
You can just see it on the coaching staff's face. They are upset with their players for even being tempted by letting that one fall. And right there, that's just bad focus right there by the Thundering Herd.
Trencheva, another powerful strike. The substitution there from Mitch Jacobs to bring her in. Looks like it's gone well thus far. She gets a couple of kills, helps get the Thundering Herd on the board as she now checks out. Lo and behold, she checks out for, it looks like it's going to be Sarah Schenk, the 5'8" freshman. Falcons still lead 7-4. She gets ready to serve from the right side to, that's going to be dug out by Haberlin. Now Marciniak sets up for Kidwell. Kidwell tipped at the net, but that's going to fall on Marshall's side. That's a nice strike from Kidwell once again. She gets her first kill of the second set. Give her 8 for the match. Falcons now extend their lead to 4. They lead it 8-4.
That's 3 times we've seen the ball kind of ride the rim of the net there and go out of the defense's way and fall. It's just really weird that you don't see that a lot, but it's happened 3 times in this match already.
Gabrielle Coulter tried to pull a nice deception move as the setter. Nice dig there by Kidwell from a block at the net, and it's going to be another attempt there from Jessie Holly. Now it's going to be Joelle Coulter with a kill shot. That's dug out. Now Falcons got to send over for a free play. Marciniak gets it back over. Now the setup opportunity, it's going to be for DeBell. DeBell puts nice placement on that. Nowhere really to go for the Falcons on that one. Polina Cabelli just had nowhere to go with the ball. Nice kill there by DeBell. She gets what I believe is her 5th of the match so far. Do a quick check on that. That is correct, her 5th kill. She's now back to serve. That serves up and over, and that's a beauty. Thighs right in front of Ikebelli. No one on the right side, whether it was Kidwell or Askin, reacted quick enough to it. It's a nice service ace there by DeBell. She gets another point back. 8-6, Falcons still lead, but DeBell going to be going for her 2nd straight service ace. Serve goes up. That one's going to be dug up by Ikebelli. Marciniak tries to throw it back. DeBell going to send it up. Weber now going to give it to Joelle Coulter, and she's going to strike one way too far out of bounds. Looked like they were completely out of sorts there on that possession. BG will take it one way or another. They now lead 9-6 as a sophomore middle blocker, Katie Kidwell, gets back to serve.
Yeah, something we saw in the first set was when the Falcons would go on a run and they build a nice 3 or 4 point lead. Then the Thundering Herd would respond and cut that lead back down to 1 or even tie it or take a lead. We're not seeing that in this set, though.
That's a nice kill there by Joelle Coulter. We've mentioned before her ability to really light up the stat sheet with kills, and so far she's had some errors going with the few she's accumulated, but we'll see if she gets going here in the second set.
Yeah,
go for it.
She's averaging 2.53 kills per set coming into this match, and that's going to improve as this game goes on.
Adeline Brandon, we tried to go for a powerful kill over the top, and that was at the net, primarily Joelle Coulter, who, again, we were talking about, can make such a big impact for the Thundering Herd. She's beginning to make one in the second set. 1 point lead for the Falcons, 9-8. Marciniak digs out the serve. Now Simon's going to set up. It's going to be Holly on the kill attempt. That's going to fall out of bounds. We've got a tie ball game here in the second set. Looks like the Thundering Herd have recuperated a little bit, led by the resurgence of Joelle Coulter. Falcons got to respond.
It's that broadcaster's jinx. I said we haven't seen it in the set where they've made those counter runs. Well, now we're seeing it.
Jaden Jacobs with the serve. Simon digs it out. Now Marciniak sets up for Holly. Tipped at the net, going to fall on Marshall's side. Nice placement there by Holly and a little bit of luck off the tip. Falcons reclaim the lead 10-9. Jessie Holly now with, I believe, her 4th kill. Again, we can't say enough the impact she had in that first set, saving a set point, providing some kills to keep pressure on the Thundering Herd and trying to make an impact in the second set. Serve is up and over. Now it's going to be a deception move right there by none other than Gabrielle Coulter, the setter. That was beautiful. Nobody saw it coming. There was this complete gap there right above the net. She looked at it, and the Falcons, all they could do was stare. There was nobody with any chance to make that play.
Yeah, Falcons were standing in the 43403 zip code, and that ball was placed in the 43402 zip code.
That's a beautiful strike right there by Isabel Kovacic. Falcons once again reclaim the lead at 11-10. Looked like a fairly easy serve to do some work with there by Gabrielle Coulter. Falcons got right into their set. And Kovacic showing just how powerful she is and her ability to strike the ball at a very impressive velocity.
And she's only third on the team with 6 kills. Katie Kidwell with 8 kills. Madeline Brandyweed with 7 kills. All 3 of those girls are hitting incredibly high in the percent-wise.
And Sierra DeBell with a kill on that set, or on that point, I beg your pardon, ties it up once again now at 11-all. It's going to be Joelle Coulter to serve. Sierra DeBell now with 6 kills, only 1 error. She might be finding her stride as well. Simon digs out the serve. Marciniak going to set up for Brandon. We tipped at the net, dug out by Weber, then set up by Gabrielle Coulter. Trincheva with a nice tip move, trying to just essentially thread it over that blocking line at the net. Nobody behind him to help him out. Again, we're seeing the Thundering Herd not being afraid to change the pace a little bit, whether it's been from the setter, Joelle Coulter, or as we just saw right there from Ivana Trincheva, I beg your pardon. 12-11, the Thundering Herd now lead. Kovacic tried to borrow a page out of the playbook, almost got it to work. DeBell now, nice diving dig there by Marciniak. They're going to have to send it over for a free play. Weber now going to set up for DeBell once again. That's tipped at the net and dug out by Simon. Marciniak now sets up for Brandon. That's struck by Gabrielle Coulter, and now DeBell with another opportunity. That's again tipped and dug out by Simon. Now Marciniak to Kovacic, and that is a block that falls out of bounds. A great effort there by DeBell. She had her chances. Both teams really scrambled a couple of times on that point, but ultimately the Falcons come away with a lucky strike going out of bounds, and now we're tied at 12-all.
Something I've noticed on these long rallies, they're actually going the Falcons' way, even though we've used, as you said, we've seen a couple of times where they've just been caught out of position on the defense. It just appears that the Falcons are winning the longer rallies, which is only a good thing.
Back-to-back struggles to nearly get the ball in play from the Thundering Herd side, but they do, and they keep the point going. And of course, that's how this works. They managed to finally get something going. That was Sierra DeBell and Lauren Natmuller there on the team block for the Thundering Herd. They reclaimed the lead 13-12. On the serve by Simon and then on the subsequent kill attempt, they were scrambling to even get the point going. They had to basically send over a couple of free plays, and they were lucky to even get it working. Lo and behold, they recovered in time. That's going to be Amber Weber with a service ace now, the libero for the Marshall Thundering Herd. She's had a couple of nice serves here tonight. Thundering Herd going to extend their lead to 2 now. They lead at 14-12, and we've mentioned Amber Weber having herself a great night so far. She's got 16 digs thus far, going toe-to-toe with Callie Simon. We know the talent that she has. Marciniak now sets up for Askin. That's dug out. Now Weber going to have to send it over. Simon now to Marciniak. Marciniak going to set up for Askin again. That's going to fall from the net right in the middle of the court. That's a point for BG. Another kill for Jacqueline Askin. That's her 5th one on the match. Now Falcons trying to close the gap once again. They only trail by 1, 14-13, as it's going to be Paulina Icabelli to serve from the left side.
Now we're going to have a
looks like they need
break.
some spot mopped there from the wonderful assistant volunteers here at the Stroh Center. Fans getting after it.
This reminds me, well, I call these things sweat breaks because they are mopping up sweat, and I'm going to reference back to the Duquesne Invitational in the first match against Duquesne, where it was like every other point Duquesne had sweat they needed to mop up. It was getting to the point where it was very funny to watch how many times they would have to pull out a towel or something. And you could just tell the BG coaching staff was annoyed because it was a momentum-killing tactic.
Momentum, absolutely. And I would say the Volunteers getting their money's worth, except they don't get paid most instances. DeBell now with the kill attempt, and that's a beauty there along the back line. Powerful strike there by DeBell. You see why she leads her team in kills more often than not. Marshall Thundering Herd extend their lead 15-13. It looks like it's going to be Sarah Shank back to serve for the Thundering Herd. As we mentioned, DeBell really starting to get going. She's got 7 kills now on the match. As Shank prepares to serve from the right side, it's up and over. Dug out by Icabelli. Now Marciniak sets up for Kidwell. Kidwell, that's tipped at the net. That's going to fall way out of bounds. No play made for Marshall. Point BG. Kidwell continues to improve upon what's been an impressive night for her thus far. She's got 9 kills on the match. She has 3 errors, but as we've seen, a lot of those have come from shots that have nearly fallen as kills as well, falling just out of bounds.
Yeah, she's hitting up at the 400 even mark. That's a great play for hitting as we now see the Falcons, I believe, first service ace of the game.
Askin with a nice serve there. didn't necessarily look like something too hard to handle, but just looked like a bad initial setup there for Marshall. And now we're tied at 15-all as Askin back once again to serve. This one dug out by Weber. Coulter sets up for DeBell. DeBell, that's blocked and sent back. Now Coulter going to set up once again. DeBell going to try again, a little more finesse. This one dug out by Ikebelli. Marciniak to Kidwell. That tipped at the net and then thrown back over and then blocked on the attempt from Holly. Now they're going to set up again. This is Kidwell throwing it back. This is going to be Coulter now setting up, and they're just going to have to throw a little gimme ball over as Holly tries another kill shot, and that one's not going to be had by anybody. A really nice diving attempt there by Joelle Coulter and subsequent attempt by Sarah Schenk. But that ball was hit so hard, there was no real control over it. Timeout called by Mitch Jacobs, head coach of Marshall University. Falcons get to really reclaim the lead for the first time now. It feels like 4 points, 16-15 they lead here in the second set. And Donovan, we've seen some improvement in terms of, one, they've been more efficient on their serves. Only one service error, and we just saw there a service ace from Jacqueline Askin. Katie Kidwell took her momentum from that first set and the impressive amount of kills she's had. She's built upon it, now with 9 total. And for the most part, we've seen the Falcons have looked just a little smoother thus far, especially when you compare it to their sloppy first set that they were playing. They look to have smoothed out some of those edges. Marshall, meanwhile, they've had their moments. DeBella's gotten going. You've seen a little bit more from Joelle Coulter, but you've still seen, and we saw it on it seemed like last 3 points, multiple different sets where they're scrambling to get the ball back. And you keep that up, you could fall behind in a hurry.
Yeah, it's all about adjustments here in the game of volleyball, and that's exactly what's going on in both huddles. One adjustment I've noticed is that Marshall has started to really work the tips, which has really gotten Coulter and DeBell going, are those kind of tip kills, the finesse kills, where they get them up and over the block, because the Falcons, they do a really good job with Kovacic. Kovacic, of course, Kidwell, Jacqueline Askin, Jessie Holly when she's in the game. All of them do a really good job of controlling the play at the nets. And so the Falcons have had to make an adjustment on the fly of backing up those blocks, because now the Thundering Herd have been going for the tips. We'll see what the next adjustment will be. I got to imagine, though, the Falcons right now are on the upper hand of this chess match we're seeing right now, even though it's volleyball.
It's going to be Jacqueline Askin now to serve for the Falcons. They lead, as we said, 16-15. A nice attempt there. It's going to be what I believe is going to be a point for BG. It's going to be, I believe it was a net violation there on number 6. That, of course, being the setter, Gabrielle Coulter. Could tell she was trying to go for a little bit of a surprise deception move to no avail. Error, point BG. They now lead by 2, 17-15. Askin back once again to serve on the left side. She serves, it's up and over. It's dug out. Now Coulter going to set up for DeBell. DeBell with the play that's dug out by Ikebelli. Marciniak now to Kidwell. Kidwell, that's dug out by Weber, but that's not going to go anywhere. She had to make a diving attempt to even get the ball out. You could tell that threw off the rhythm. It looked like Joelle Coulter might have had a play on it as well. She made a diving attempt and was taken out of the play. Falcons now extend their lead to 3. They're up 18-15. They're trying to get closer to that red zone. Askin serve up and over, dug out by Weber. Coulter going to set it up. Now that was for Issa Dotel, a really nice strike there that was ultimately blocked and tipped at the net by the Falcons and fell out of bounds. Point for Marshall. They cut the deficit to 2. Falcons still had 18-16. It's now going to be Sierra DeBell to serve for the Thundering Herd. 6'2", redshirt sophomore out of Ocala, Florida. There's multiple players from Florida here on this team. Kidwell, kill attempt dug out by DeBell. Now Coulter going to set up once again for DeBell. DeBell goes for it. A diving attempt there by Askin. It looked like Simon had a play as well. Perhaps a little bit of miscommunication. Too many players going for the ball. DeBell, as we've said, really started to get going here in this second set. She's got 8 kills. She's really stepped up. She is now back to serve as she tries to tie it up for the Thundering Herd.
Yeah, that should have been Simon's ball all the way. And when the libero says get out of the way, you get out of the way.
That's a beautiful strike there by Jessie Holly along the left side. DeBell again trying to make the play. She's been everywhere here in this second set. Couldn't get enough on it to make a play to her other teammates. Jessie Holly now with 6 kills on the match. Done a really great job here thus far. Falcons up 19-17. Katie Kidwell, the sophomore middle blocker, to serve. She serves from right towards the middle, and that's going to be Schenk now setting up. This is going to be a kill attempt for Joelle Coulter. That's sent back to their side. Gabrielle Coulter sets up for Sierra DeBell. That's dug out by Ikebelli. Now it's going to be an attempt from Madeline Brandery. That one's going to hit the net and fall back on BG's side. Point for Marshall. They still trail 19-18 as it looks like we are going to have the server be Jaden Jacobs, the 5'6" senior setter slash defensive specialist from Huntington, West Virginia. She serves from right to left. That serve is up and over. Ikebelli digs it out. It's going to be Holly with a kill attempt. That's dug out by Sarah Schenk. Joust at the net. falls towards BG side. Now Holly gonna go for the kill, blocked at the net, now sent back on Marshall's side. Now Coulter gonna set up for her sister. That's gonna be Joelle Coulter. That's dug out by the Falcons. Now Holly with another kill attempt, tipped and dug out by DeBell. Now it's again Coulter to Coulter, dug out by Askin. Now it's Marciniak trying to make a play and surprise everybody, but she did not have anybody fooled on that one. That's Lauren Matt Muller, who had a couple of really nice blocks in the first set. She was ready. That was terrific anticipation. Marciniak thought she'd catch him off guard. Muller just threw that right into the open space. We're all tied at 19 as once again the serve is up from Jacobs. Kill attempt here from Madeline Brandewee. That's a really nice shot. Jane Jacobs got a piece of it, sent it way back into the stands near a fan. Ultimately a point for BG. They're the first to get to the red zone. It's 20-19. This set far from over. Great battles here thus far in the later goings of the second set as Marciniak now back to serve from the right side. That's dug out by DeBell. Now Coulter sets up for none other than, I believe that's going to be Lauren Matt Muller again. I was going to mention it a few points ago before she checked in. We hadn't heard a whole lot of her. Lo and behold, since that first set where she showed up with 4 kills, now she's making an impact, tied all at 20, as it's going to be Gabrielle Coulter, the setter, to serve. She serves, dug out by Holly. Now it's going to be Marciniak to Brandewee. Brandewee hits that one right off the tip of the fingers from Amber Weber, who has seemed to dig out anything and everything. Not that shot. 21-20, Falcons reclaim the lead once again. Really nice kill there by Madeline Brandewee. Weber with 17 digs, mind you.
It's a very fun teeter-totter affair we have going on here. Momentum is shifting all over the place. This is a great match since that first serve.
Haberlin with the serve, nothing special about it. DeBell dug it out, and then Weber, and it looked like Joelle Coulter both just couldn't get to it. That's going to be a timeout now called by head coach Mitch Jacobs of the Marshall Thundering Herd. Falcons up 22-20 in this second set. Points 29-27. So some close battles here, no doubt, unfolding. Lauren Matt Muller stepped up as of late for the Thundering Herd to keep them in this match. But at the same time, we've seen Sierra DeBell really improve her game and step up in the kill department for the Thundering Herd as well. We're still seeing the inconsistencies, though, from Joelle Coulter. I mean, she had 22 kills in their match against Ohio University, an impressive 3-1 victory. She even had 14 in their loss, granted, against the University of Alabama. And that's not exactly a slouch of a school and a slouch of a volleyball team.
No, they're ranked 25th in the nation.
Yeah, she is more than capable of stepping up.
It's just game planning. I'm telling you, they have planned for her, and when they plan for her, or when they plan for any player, that player will not succeed against BGSU. They are that good at not only planning for them, but then adjusting to whatever they try to do to beat them. Falcons are winning the battles at the net right now. They're getting the blocks, they're controlling the net, getting the blocks. Now we've seen the adjustment by Marshall, and it's become less of blocking and more about backing up the blocks. But still, the Falcons are right now winning the strategy game we see going on right now. And this timeout that just ended by head coach Jacobs, it's almost, it's not a red alert because you still have another set to try to come back and make the comeback. But it's a, hey, we need to get our act together kind of timeout.
Haberlin's service dug out. Now a kill attempt there from Ivana Trencheva. That's dug out. Now an opportunity for Askin. Askin, it looks like they are going to rule. I did not quite see what that ruling was.
Netting violation there.
Okay, that's what I would have guessed.
The blocking error. I'll get you who that was on here in just a second once the StatCast updates. But now errors are really starting to hurt the Thundering Herd as well, who do not have any more timeouts.
23-20, Falcons trying to go up 2-0. Trencheva blocked at the net, and that was a really nice team effort there. It looked like the leading candidate on that block appeared to be Jacqueline Askin with a little bit of help from Madeline Brandewee. They are now facing set point, 24-20, Falcons ahead, trying to go up 2-0 here on the Marshall Thundering Herd as Haberlin back to serve once again. This one, and that's going to be a service error. We've been saying the Falcons did a pretty good job of cleaning them up thus far in the set, but the set's not over. That's their second service error of the set. They had one at the very beginning, and they had one at the very end. We'll see if it comes back to bite them. 24-21, now it's going to be the attacker, Joelle Coulter, to serve. It's dug out. Now Marciniak sets up for Askin. Askin tipped at the net, dug out by Weber. Now you go from Coulter to DeBell. DeBell tipped at the net and falls down on BG's side. Again, Sierra DeBell doing a great job of elevating her game. It's going to be a timeout now called by head coach Daniela Tomic. Wants to talk things over. Probably a little dissatisfied with that service error. But again, Sierra DeBell really starting to heat up in this second set, and we'll see if that's something she's able to continue going forward. Recent history and her numbers thus far would tend to suggest yes, but again, Marshall's back still pinned against the wall. They've still got to win 2 more points in a row. We'll see what Mitch Jacobs has drawn up there in the huddle for the Thundering Herd. We'll see if they can't capitalize and try to save set point.
Yeah, I mean, the Falcons just need that 1 point left. That mental error there on the Harborland serve, that was a mental error, and I can already tell you this right now, the entire BG coaching staff, but head coach Tomich especially, just cannot stand mental errors. And certainly she'll keep the team focused, but you don't want them to lose focus, because you had that 4-point lead. It looks like you could have won this set by 5. Now they only have a 2-point lead. This timeout right here is just a precautionary, hey, finish this out. We've got the advantage here. Just finish it out. Let's go to the locker room and get ready for set number 3 and prepare for a sweep.
Falcons really trying to extend themselves to a 2-0 set lead, something they have not had a lot. They have not had often here in the early goings of the season. As we know, they like to play some tough out-of-conference opponents, and they have felt the effects of that as in the early goings of this season. They are 3-7, and so we're going to see if they can improve to 4-7. That starts with a set victory right here to go up 2-0. Set serve by Coulter. The Falcons are scrambling, and they can't even get a shot opportunity up. They can't even get a free play to the Thundering Herd. 24-23. Falcons again still with set point. But you can tell the Thundering Herd have found something that seems to work and help them out. Looks like Ivana Trencheva is going to be checked out, and checking in for her is going to be Shelby Conley, 5'11" senior. It's going to be Joelle Coulter once again back to serve for the Thundering Herd as they look to truly cap off this saving of set points.
And the ace in the hole, the ace up Tomich's sleeve. Jessie Holly just checked in for Taylor Harborland.
Can she do it again? Let's find out. This one going to be badly dug out by Holly. It looks like they're going to be able to save the play and give it a free play to the Thundering Herd. Kill attempt now by DeBell. DeBell, that goes off the hands of Isabel Kovacic and out of bounds. Point Marshall. They
Here
actually
comes the second
did.
timeout.
Coach Tomich looks like talking to an official. They are going to call that timeout. Falcons had 4 different set points here to capitalize on. They could not do it. They are now tied at 24 with the Thundering Herd. And again, those last couple of points just kind of inexcusable. You didn't see any kind of real attempt at a kill shot, anything that really got the Thundering Herd off balance. They were capitalizing, they were controlling the point, and that one especially, Holly with a very bad dig there that would have otherwise just given them an opportunity for a kill shot. That one right there, nobody had a chance to make a play on. Then they're out of sorts, and their rotations are off. Lo and behold, the Thundering Herd did a great job of capitalizing on it, and now the set's anybody's game.
Well, I'm not too sure that one was going to even be inbounds. That one was close. The entire bench and the entire student section was over there yelling out. Obviously, they have a better vantage point. They're all the way across the court from us, and they don't have one of the posts blocking the view. But I'm pretty sure that one would have been the set right there. But Jessie Holly didn't want to risk it. She, by the way, it has been, I believe, removed. Nope, she is still in the match. They still trust her, but right now it just seems like all the momentum is on the ladies in black and green right now.
Sierra DeBell joining Katie Kidwell as the only 2 players in the match now with double-digit kills, both with 10. DeBell, an integral part of Marshall tying this set up at 24. Coulter's serve once again, that's dug out. Simon now going to set up for, that's going to be asking off the hands of what looked like Lauren Matt-Moeller and down on Marshall's side. That's a point for BG. Set point once again. Can they capitalize with the applied pressure? Callie Simon back to serve. Looks like Coach Tomich, stoic as she ever is, as she always is, I should say, would love to see the Falcons avoid pressure here and just end this set and go up 2-0. And that's a service error by Callie Simon. Falcons now with 3 service errors in this set to go with their 3 in the first set. Very ill-advised, definitely not the right time. But now the libero for the Thundering Herd, Amber Weber, back to serve. A little tidbit too, it's been a great digging battle here, kind of silently from the liberos. Amber Weber with 18, Callie Simon with 17. Been very fun to watch. They both played very good games.
Issa Doss still checks into the game. I believe this is the first time we've said her name. I think this is the first time she may have actually entered the game.
It's going to be Marciniak now to asking for the kill opportunity. That's dug out by Weber. Now Coulter sets up for DeBell. DeBell tipped, and that falls down once again. Sierra DeBell, ladies and gentlemen, has taken over this second set and done an excellent job to lead the Thundering Herd. They now have set point up 26-25. It's going to be Amber Weber to serve once again. Can the Falcons force it back to even? It's going to be dug out by Holly. Now Marciniak sets up for Kidwell. Kidwell tries to throw it. That's dug up by Coulter. Now Weber sets up for DeBell. DeBell again. Folks, taking over a volleyball match looks a lot like what Sierra DeBell just did here in the second set. She now has 12 kills on the match. I believe had 3 going into this set. An excellent job of placement. She was out hitting everybody, daring people to beat her with her strikes. She's upped her hitting percentage to 344. And she is, without a doubt, you look at reasons why the Thundering Herd not only came back from down 24-20, but also managed to even win that second set. I look no further than Sierra DeBell. That is impressive. And, well, that's not a player from the Falcons Diamond. That's incredible to watch. And every time it seemed like she was preparing for a kill shot, I was like, where is it going to fall? Every single time. An impressive job there. Falcons definitely got to retain, or I should say just kind of retain their own composure, as they now are tied at 1 set apiece. Definitely a set they expected to get. Coach Tomich, not unfamiliar with this kind of situation. She's never one to get too emotional either way. Expect the Falcons to come out even keeled and maintain composure, but at the same time, that can't happen.
I guarantee you she is not happy right now. They didn't go back to the locker room, but they did go back in that hallway back there because it's only 5 minutes between these 2 sets as opposed to the normal 10, I believe it would be. But the team just lost focus. That's all that happened right there, is the team just lost focus. They had a chance. They were up 24-20, and they had a chance to close it out, not just once, but many times in that set, and they just lost focus. That's something she does not like to see from her team. I'm sure they'll make the adjustment to that because, as you said, DeBell has come out and has been a force with 12 kills already in this set. In this match, correction. She's hitting over 300 right now. That's something the Falcons will have to adjust to. They're going to have to make some sort of move, and unfortunately, that will open up Joelle Coulter a little bit more, who, by the way, only has 5 kills. She's joined in second in that category for the Thundering Herd with 5.
And 4 errors.
But I think you, at this point, you have to risk that because right now she probably isn't mentally in the best state right now. I know these athletes, they're unreal psychologically. But that being said, they still are human, and they still have struggled to shake off tough performances. You've probably got to go ahead and just focus in now on DeBell because that seems like the player now that, for the Thundering Herd, that has stepped up. She's the only one even close to double digits in kills and for the Thundering Herd. The next couple players are at 5. For the Falcons, they've been doing a great job of spreading their offense. It's apparent in the stats. Kidwell with 10, Madeline Brandywee with 9, Kovacic with 7, Askin with 6. That's kills. Multiple players hitting over 300. They've got Jessie Holly hitting 417, Brandywee hitting 389, Kidwell hitting 350, Kovacic hitting 378. This is a very close match. These are 2 very close teams coming in. And what wins close games? Heart. And we know the Falcons, they don't give up. We know they put in maximum effort on every play. And I fully expect them to come out and win this third set here.
Biggest thing especially is get off to a hot start if you can there in this third set. Try and put the remnants of the second set behind you because, like we said, they had 4 straight set points. And then even when it was 24-24, they had a set point at 25-24. And now we're going to have to see if they can clean up the service errors, the biggest reason, because at this point, 6 service errors throughout the first 2 sets, unacceptable and something they definitely need corrected because otherwise they're going to continue to bite themselves in the butt with their inability to just kind of get out of their own way.
All right, we will step aside about a minute till the third set, but we will go ahead and step aside, give our vocal cords some rest, and get some water in our systems. You're listening to BGSU Volleyball live on Mixlr.com. Falcon Radio, the TuneIn Radio app, all part of the Bowling Green Radio Network. Thank you for listening. We will be right back. Set number 3 about to get underway here at the Stroh Center, the opening match to the BGSU Invitational. It's a Thursday evening. We are tied at 1 set apiece between your Bowling Green State University Falcons and the Thundering Herd of Marshall. Marshall will serve to start this third set. Setter Gabrielle Kohler will be the server. She serves right to left across your radio dial. Simon will dig it out, and we are underway. Marciniak, Brady Weed goes cross court from the near side. It's dug out. Weber's going to set up here at the 10-foot line, flipped over, but Marciniak will dig it out. Simon goes far side. Holly gets the attempt, but Weber will dig it out. Set up here in the middle, tip kill, and Askin cannot get down in time to get to that one. I do believe that was Lauren at Matt Muller then there on the kill. 1-0 Marshall in set number 3. Serve this one up, and Holly digs it out. Going for Kovacic now. She lays this one in the back corner on the far side for the kill. 1-1, we are tied.
Something we kind of noticed. Sorry to cut you off there, Don. It's something that we noticed for sure. How are they going to come out kind of mentally? Were they going to maintain that even-keeled composure that we've seen from BG so often? Came back out, everybody all smiles, looks to be loose. Should be a really fun third set.
Arberlin serves this one up left to right. It's going to be dug out here by DeBell. Set up here now far side, but I believe they're going to call a double touch. And yes, they will on Marshall. So on the double touch there, the error, it will be the ball handling error on Gabrielle Kohler. And it was now 2-1 Falcons. Arberlin to serve again. She puts this one up and over. DeBell digs it out. Kohler's going to set up here for, looks like Petrova, and that one will go cross court, past the back corner, and out of bounds in the BG bench. We are top. It is now 3-1. Falcons hold the lead. Arberlin to serve again. And now we await the go, and here we go. Left to right, Arberlin will serve. Dug out by DeBell. Set up here in the middle. Looks like that was for Kohler, but it's dug out. Simon's going to now set up Askin. Askin dug out by Weber in the back corner. Set up here in the middle. Tip to the net. Kept alive by Askin, but back on for free play on Marshall's side. Blocked to the net by Brandon Wheat. Down it goes on the Marshall side. Point BG. Looks like that was Trivia trying to get in on that one. Correction, that is Trecheva in on that one. 4-1 Falcons on the run.
It doesn't show up in the box score necessarily, but that save by Askin and the quick twitch reaction to send it back over, that saved their point.
Blocked to the net by Brandon Weed, but dug out by Weber. And it does end up going down. I wonder how they'll rule that one. But Brandon Weed and Kovacic were in on the block on that one. And they will actually just say it was Brandon Weed and on the block. Well, nope, hold on. StatCast is yet to update, but this is a quick timeout here by head coach Mitch Jacobs. Okay, it was officially an attack error there on Kohler, the block by Kovacic and Brandywig. All right, so Falcons jump out to a quick 4-point lead, 5-1 right now, but we've seen this happen in the first couple sets where they get out to that quick lead and almost maybe, I don't want to say let up off the gas maybe, but Marshall makes an adjustment and is able to come out. But much like in the first set, there was the quick timeout called by head coach Jacobs of Marshall.
You can tell that Mitch Jacobs definitely likes to do that as well. And when you've been coaching this program specifically for 17 years, you pick up on things that seem to work well and things that work better than others. And every time we've seen them come off a timeout, they've made an adjustment that's ultimately got them back in the set, whether it's been tied per se, maybe not, but they've always answered in a way that's thrown the Falcons off guard and gotten them some points back. That's a testament to being a coach for a really long time and knowing what you're doing. We're fortunate to have two coaches who have been doing this at their respective programs for a long time. Jacobs now for 17 years, Coach Towich, of course, now in her 7th season. And these are coaches that know how to make adjustments. They see what's wrong, they see what's not working, and they try to fix it. And you see a lot of times off timeouts, these teams respond really well. And you saw some frustration, too, from the Thundering Herd side. And Sierra DeBell, especially after that kind of discombobulation that led to the 5-1 deficit, that led to that last point, she kind of looked kind of dead in the eyes of Joel Coulter with a bit of a stare and was like, come on, guys, let's get this figured out.
5-1 Falcons lead as Haberlin shoots this one left to right. Weber digs it out, and that's one to be set up in the middle there. And the kill attempt dug out by Marciniak. Simon sets up at the 10-foot line for Askin. She's dug out there by DeBell. Set up here, blocked and tipped at the net, but Askin keeps it alive. We're going to have a joust at the net, won by the Thundering Herd and Shelby Conley, as that will be to break up the Falcons' 4-point run. It is now 5-2 Marshall, and a side out as outside hitter, 5'10" freshman, appearing in her 12th match, and now 43rd set. Well, Coulter serves this one up, but Brandewee's going to get the kill as this one's tipped off the block and out of bounds on the Marshall side. 6-2 Falcons on top. Credit the assist, as always, to Isabel Marciniak. Callie Simon back to serve for the Falcons, left to right, 6-2 your score. Puts this one up and over the net, dug out by DeBell. Set up here right on the middle outside, but a little bit too much mustard on it by Conley right there. Well, to me, any mustard is too much mustard, but there was too much mustard even for the average human. And now it's 7-2. Falcons lead by 5 as Simon serves again. DeBell digs it out in the back corner, set up here on the far side, and this time there was just the right amount of mustard for Shelby Connolly as she gets a lot of flavor, but not a lot of spread.
You made enough food puns yet, Donovan? I'm curious.
No. Okay, I'm going to have to stop with that one. Here comes the serve by Weber, libero. Marciniak keeps this one alive as Askin kills this one. Marciniak dug out, blocked at the net here on the kill attempt by Kidwell. Marciniak's going to set up Kovacic. Kovacic puts way too much air underneath that one, tries to get the tip, but she just put too much air under that one as it goes into the student section behind the Marshall side.
We've seen that multiple times
now. 7-4. This is multiple times now that the second official has had to correct the scoring table for some reason or another, which is just momentum killer either way when that has to happen. 7-4, Falcons lead by 3 in their home white jerseys with orange trim. Weber serves this one up. Harberlin with a great save there to keep that one out. Trying to kill it and throw it down there was Askin. They're calling for the tip, but there was none. 7-5, and here comes that rebuttal run by the Thundering Herd. 7-5, they're still down by 2, but on a run. Harberlin digs out the serve from Weber. Marciniak goes near side for Kovacic. Kovacic thrown right back into her face there by the block of Isa Dostal.
And Sierra DeBell.
And Sierra DeBell.
And what have we said? She is good at affecting the areas and blocks, and she can get her kills. We're seeing both of them on display here tonight.
Harberlin digs this one out. Marciniak. Kidwell, no doubt about it, throws this one with such speed on the back baseline. She shoots that one right past the libero and Weber, and now it's 8-6. Falcons break up the momentum and get the side out after the run. They lead by 2. Kovacic checks out as Icobelli serves up and over. Dug out, set up here now near side, and thrown in the back corner by Shelby Conley.
Conley's getting active here in this third set, getting engaged and taking her chances. Granted, made an error on one, but up to 5 kills now, and they're really getting her involved.
Sarah Shanks comes in to serve. Puts this one up, it gets over the net. Harberlin digs it out. Marciniak's gonna go here for Kidwell on the near side. Throws this one across, and Falcons once again arguing for a tip, but just once again too hard by the Falcon offense, and that is really what's been hurting them more than anything in this set, Tom, is just the too much power on it, too much cheddar. As now Harberlin digs out the serve. We are tied at 8. Marciniak's gonna set up Askin, tipped to the net, dug out by Weber. Here comes the setup on the near side. Looks like DeBell hits the pin on the block. So it goes off the block and into the pin. Can't do that. And so Falcons now trail by 1 after the 9-8 is your score. And once again, Shanks will serve. Simon digs it out. Marciniak's going to set up the middle here for Kidwell. Tip kill is dug out by Coulter. Blocked at the net there, and the block is successful by Kidwell. And Marciniak is in on the action as well. Tied at 9.
Kidwell again just really showing no fear whatsoever. You could hear how hard that ball was hit, echoed pretty much around the entire court. Kidwell with a beautiful block, and of course help from Marciniak, a big point for the Falcons.
Askin serves it up, dug out by Weber. Set up here on the near side for DeBell. Tip to the net. Icabelli digs it out. Marciniak goes far side for Holly. Holly shoots it back corner, but it's dug out. Looks like, I believe, there by Coulter, who ends up digging it into the stands. Past her bench. Falcons back on top by 1, 8-9. Trying to take that 2-1 set lead. They win the race to double digits. And now Askin will serve for the second straight time. She puts this one up over the net. Dug out by Coulter. Set up here by the setter, Coulter. Tipped at the net, jousting at the net. One over And now Falcons have it as Icabelli digs it out. Kidwell dug out by Coltler. Set up now here near side for DeVell. Simon digs out the strong kill. Marciniak goes far side for Holly. Holly tipped at the net, and it goes towards the scoring table, and the assistant coach of the Thundering Herd gets that one right onto his knees. He was kneeling over there. Might have taken that one to the face maybe a little bit. Either way, 2-point lead now for the Falcons as they lead 11-9. Askin serves it up again. Dug out. Set up here by Coltler over to DeBell. Tip kill over the block, dug out by Icabelli. Set up there, now tip kill. Looked like a deception move by Gabrielle Coltler, the setter, but she just directs it right into the net, and another quick timeout. Here, 12-9, Falcons lead, and that's the quick timeout taken by Mitch Jacobs for Marshall. And so, Tom, almost reminiscent of the first set. 2 early timeouts before we even hit 15 points here for Marshall. How is that going to affect them later down the road if their next adjustment doesn't work, or the Falcons are able to counter adjust, get some momentum running, and all of a sudden you can't stop it?
I think the reality is with what Coach Jacobs wants to do, and heck, he's seen it work fairly successfully, and I'm sure it's worked plenty of times over the past decade. As I think right now he's expecting the adjustments that they make, one, to work in the short term like they have so far in this match. He's done a great job at making counter adjustments, and as we know, it's a chess match that's ongoing throughout. Adjustments on one side, adjustments on another, but they've seen adjustments that have immediately produced points. You got to hope that they use that in their favor to get points and get ahead, and at least make it, perhaps maybe force Coach Tomich to call a timeout. That way you get another time in the huddle, you get another chance to kind of plan for whatever adjustment Coach Tomich is going to make with her team. And then from there, you got to kind of ride it out until you're close to the red zone, which is kind of what they did in that first set. I think for the most part, he wants to see them click it and get it together now versus waiting, let's say maybe if they're down 16-10 or 17-11 or something like that here in just maybe a couple of minutes. Because if it reaches that point, you almost get to the point of no return. Right now, he knows it, as well as Coach Tomich knows it. This set is completely salvageable on both ends, and he doesn't want to see it slip away quite yet.
Gives some special instructions to Isa Dostal before she comes and takes the court. Asking to serve again, up over the net, dug out. Set up here into the net, service ace for the Louisville Slugger. Right there, Jacqueline Askin. She served that one up. It was a couple of bad digs, sends it into the pin technically. 13-9, Falcons up by 4.
That's her second ace too.
Puts this one up over the net, and this one from service ace to
Shouldn't
service error.
Shouldn't have even said a word.
Shame on you, Tom. 13-10. She's up actually now to 13 service aces on the season, leads the team.
Oh, wow.
I believe she's the only player on the Falcons to have double-digit service aces right now. Next closest is Icabelli with 9. Serves it up and over, but way too far. That was closer than you would expect. But Icabelli does the smart thing and just lets it go by her. She actually ducks under it, and it lands just past the baseline in the MAC logo there of the basketball painted area. 14-10, Falcons on top by 4. Kidwell to serve again after the service error. Up over the net, dug out. Marshall now sets this one up in the middle. Blocked there is Dostal. Marciniak's gonna go far side for Holly. Holly goes cross court, but just a little bit too much on it. And I mean just a little bit too much on it. 14-11.
The referees have a better look than we do, of course, but oh man, that looked close. I was about to say, what an excellent position shot right there.
Serve it up, Jaden Jacobs. She puts this one up and short serve. Simon takes it out. Marciniak near side for Brandon Weed. Goes cross court, just in that back corner on the far side. 15-11, and the Falcons not giving up that run. They're kind of going back and forth right now, Tom, and they have a 4-3 to 4-3 to 4-3 lead as this back and forth affair goes. As Marciniak serves left to right, dug out by Shanks. Set up here now for Coltler, who gets it off the block and down on the Falcon side. Heading towards that back corner on the far side, 15-12, side out. And Gabrielle Colter will go to serve after her sister just got the kill.
Pair of freshmen that make a
over.
huge impact on that team. That's going to be fun to watch for years to come.
Marciniak over to Kovacic, tip kills, dug out. Here comes the setup and tipped at the net. Down it goes on Marshall's side, but out of bounds, off the block. Credit the kill to Shelby Conley right there. And 15-13, back within 2 are the Thundering Herd. Back to serve is Gabrielle Coltler once again. has 4 service aces coming into this match as Marciniak is going to set up Brandy Wheat in the middle. Dug out right towards the Thundering Herd bench. Off the kill there from Brandy Wheat, who's having herself a really good game to start this BGSU Invitational. Falcons lead 16-13.
Brandy Wheat now with 12 kills. She passed Katie Kidwell, who still has 11. She has been huge tonight.
A couple of middles getting their salt in. Weber digs this one out from Harberland. It's a loose dig out, and this one will be sent over for free possession. Flipped right back down. Kovacic diving and keeping it alive, but Askin couldn't get the second touch. As this one, it'll be rolling out of bounds on the far side towards the scoring table. 16-14. Falcons still up by 2, and back to serve will be the other Coltler twin, Joelle. She puts this one up. It gets over the net. It's dug out here by Harberland. Marciniak goes over to Askin. Askin right there on that back corner. Might have been tipped just a little bit, but doesn't matter. Lands inbound 17-14. Jacqueline Askin making an impact as well in that kill department. Gets the kill there. 17-14. Back to serve will be Callie Simon. By the way, in the kill category, Jacqueline Askin having herself a game with everybody. Service ace Callie Simon as the Thundering Herd cannot handle this one. Falcons are really starting to turn up that service department now as Callie Simon, who can dig it a lot. She also can serve, and she puts this one up and over. Weber, her counterpart, libero, digs it out. This one's flipped over, kept alive by Marciniak. Harberland's going to go far side for Askin. Askin over the block, dug out by Weber in the back corner. Set up here far side, tip kill, but kept alive here. Jousting at the net. Nope, just kidding. Marciniak's going to set it up. Free play sent over by Askin. Marshall goes far side for DeBell. Blocked by Kovacic and Kidwell. Wow, DeBell is having a hard time in this set with those blocks. That is, I believe, the 3rd time in this set time she has been blocked. And it's twice it's been Kidwell and Kovacic.
Kovacic and Kidwell. I mean, there's a reason they do this so often. They are just incredible at being able to use their size and their ability to just use perfect timing to get those blocks.
Simon serve dug out over to DeBell. Her kill is dug out by Marciniak. Simon's going to go far side for Askin over the block. Kept alive there on the dig by Coltler. Set over now DeBell. Dug out by Simon. Marciniak's going to go near side. Kovacic. Kovacic chipped by the block. Past the baseline. 3 touches anyway after a host of Marshall players, just all they do is send it backwards towards the student section on all 3 hits. 20-14, Falcons in control of set number 3 as they hit the red zone. Simon to serve again, left to right in her black libero jersey. Dug out here by Coltler. Set up here, tip kill by the other Coltler, that is Gabrielle Coltler. Set up by Marciniak, blocked. Harberland digs out the block though, over to Simon from, or correction, Marciniak over to Askin, kept alive in the middle now, thrown down by Matt Lohr, kept alive. Kovacic now tipped by the block, kept alive by the Herd in the back corner, sent across. Simon now digs it out in the back line. Set up here for Askin. Askin tipped back, kept alive by Weber, and now a free play as DeBell just has to send this over. Simon digs it out, all in the middle. Marciniak to Kidwell, working all day. Throwing it down is the sophomore middle blocker with the boom.
Was there really any doubt with how well Kidwell has played and how well she has struck at the front of the net? When they gave that free play and Kidwell was wide open in the middle, was there any doubt?
12 kills for the sophomore. She joins her fellow middle blocker with 12 in Madeline Brandy, leading all Falcons. 21-14. Here comes the serve, kept alive. DeBell does get a hand on this one and puts it in the back corner from near side to far side. 21-15, the run is over for the Falcons, but they still have plenty of breathing room. But you don't want to lose focus. Breathing room can sometimes lead to overconfidence. Back to serve will be Amber Weber. Dug out by Harberland, set up here for Kovacic by Marciniak. Blocked right back at her by a host of Thundering Herd players. It was Dostal and DeBell. 21-16, 5-point lead still for the Falcons.
They've been a
Weber
great
puts
pair
this
at the
one
front.
Dug out by Harberland off of Weber. Serve over for Askin. She's blocked. Marciniak digs it out. Simon will go once again to Askin on the far side. This time the block tips it and it lands on Marshall's side. And Weber sends it over for a 3-play. Simon digging out Marciniak, and it looks like they will call a reach over by Marciniak. 21-17 attack error there on Isabel Marciniak. 21-17, and now got to imagine another kill or point here by the Thundering Herd, and it will be a timeout. And it's now a service ace. Yep, here it comes. Daniela Tomic shoots out of her chair. This is just, I cannot imagine she believes this is not all acceptable. I don't think this is acceptable. You had a huge lead, and then all of a sudden the Thundering Herd without a timeout, without really being able to sit in the huddle and make an adjustment. They go on a run, cut your lead down from about 6 to 3, and a very quick timeout here as they try to regain focus and take that 2-1 set lead, Tom.
I think the biggest thing, too, and we've seen throughout this entire match, and usually every match, Coach Tomic kind of sits there in her chair, stoic expression, occasionally making call-outs or things she wants done, as we've seen almost the complete opposite of head coach Mitch Jacobs, who is, I don't think, ever in his chair. But you could tell, especially the point that resulted in the reach over there by Marciniak / Kidwell really started when Kidwell, off a free play, too, had a bad dig that really kind of threw everything out of whack, something you would have expected to kind of get a quality setup for at least a good-looking shot. And Kidwell, great, has played an outstanding match tonight, but that was a point where it's like you got to have that one back. And then for them to immediately come back on a serve that wasn't necessarily placed spectacularly, for them to kind of come out and then again not be able to regain any kind of control, not even be able to get a shot off. Those are some of the sloppy mistakes we've seen. We saw a lot more of them in the first set. They were cleaned up for the most part in the second set before they proceeded to drop a 24-20 lead. Now we got to see if they're able to regroup and regain focus, because they still have a 3-point lead. They still have it here. It's just, can they get things together?
Harberlin digs out the Weber serve over to Kidwell. Kidwell, no doubt about it, as she throws that one down. It looks like it was dug out by Joelle Coulter and then sent towards the scoring table on the far side of the post. Did not get between the pegs, and that will be a kill for Kidwell. It's 22-18, 4-point lead once again for the Falcons as they reach closer and closer to the end of this set. Icabelli serves it up, dug out by Coulter. Set up here now far side for Conley, and this one is sent on a bad dig over past the first official and across the net, but not through the pegs. 22-19. Back to serve will be Sarah Shanks. 22-19, right to left, she serves just over the net. Harberlin keeps it alive. Marciniak's gonna set up Askin, tips it over the block, dug out by Shanks. Set up here now, far side for, looks like, is that Tabell? It is, lays down the boom. 22-20, both teams in the red zone now. Only a 2-point lead for the Falcons as the Thundering Herd just keep on rolling.
You could see some pent-up aggression from a little bit of a lackluster performance in that third set. She let it rip.
Harberlin digs out Shanks' serve over to Kidwell. Tip kill, down with perfection, splits the defense. Host of Thundering Herd players dive in for it, but it's 23-20. And the Falcons back up by 3, 2 points away from claiming set number 3.
Kidwell with nice variation on her last 2 kills as well, helping keep the Falcons in front. Smacked the ball as hard as she could just a couple points ago. That one, just a little shove.
Jacqueline Askin serves it up, dug out by Shanks. Set up here now for DeBell. DeBell right in front of Callie Simon, who can't get down to it in time. A lot of strength in that one. And DeBell has been really putting some power on her kills now as she goes back to serve. 23-21, Falcons still up by 2. They just need 2 to win it.
She's 6'2" with an incredible reach, and she uses it very well, DeBell does.
Icabelli digs out the DeBell serve. Set up here in the middle for Kidwell. Kidwell's blocked. Simon keeps it alive. Marciniak or Kidwell got a hand on that. Couldn't quite tell. Free possession here for the Thundering Herd as this one's set up, but Simon will dig out the kill attempt there. In the middle now for Kidwell on the tip kill. Dug out by Julia Coulter. Set up now for the tip kill from Julia Coulter. Dug out by Icabelli. Set up now for Jessie Holly. Far side, goes cross court with it. And a bad dig by Joelle Coulter since this one on the low part of the net. Hits the low part of the net, then rolls under. 24-21, set point Falcons. Katie Kidwell will go back to serve, and now dangerous territory for the Falcons because he saw in set 2 them get to this point and they just couldn't close it out.
It's running through their heads a little bit too, you can just kind of tell.
And now we're going to have another, I believe he actually threw. So I don't know what he's challenging, but Mitch Jacobs has thrown down the green challenge card, and honestly, I'm pretty sure this is more of a way just to get an extra timeout.
I would think, yeah, he's trying to use it as sort of an effort to really kind of emphasize a couple of points to his team. Hey, we just did this. Keep your composure. The Falcons, of course, Coach Tomic, she's never been much for, at least from what we've been able to tell on court, never been much for big speeches. And this would be the time where a lot of coaches would be like, look, we just had this opportunity and squandered it. Let's make the adjustment and let's get things figured out. She's not saying anything. The team is huddled right now. We're watching it right now. The team is huddled on the court. Coach Tomich is sitting in her chair, not saying a word. She knows, and they know. They made the mistake in the second set. They got to correct it in the third set. They know what they need to do. They know that this is a lead that they can't afford to blow, and they want to get this kind of 2-1 advantage. Coach Tomich is, I applaud this personally, because it's something that coaches will always try to almost, I would say, manage to a microscopic level the emotions and thoughts of players. And not to say that Mitch Thomas is doing that by any stretch of the imagination, but a lot of times you see and you're a player thinking, yeah, I know. I'm not trying to blow a 24-20 lead. I'm not trying to squander this opportunity. They know what they need to do, and they know what lies at stake. And I actually applaud Coach Tomich for taking sort of a silent approach to it.
I'm actually trying to figure out what he challenged. And they do give the point to the Falcons. I couldn't hear it. We don't have any truck or like people in a replay center for us to be able to see. We don't even know what play they were looking at. I think he literally just, to me, he threw the challenge card down just to get that extra timeout.
That's what it seemed like.
Which, I'm not going to express my opinion on that one, but you can feel free to adjust it. Whether you view it as kind of a cheat move or maximum effort kind of move, whatever way you see it. And now we're going to have libero Amber Weber have a conversation with the first official. So maybe he was legitimately challenging something. I'm not quite sure why, but now she's getting an explanation.
There was something we must have missed.
There must have been.
Perhaps this is just obvious.
Perhaps this is just another momentum killer. BGSU players are just standing around with smiles on their faces, kind of like, come on, let's go.
Everybody but Kidwell. Look at determination in her eyes.
She serves this one up, dug out on the back row here. Set up now here for Coltler, who gets the kill. 24-22, 2-point lead for the Falcons. And we'll see how the Falcons approach this one. Katie Kidwell checks out of the game as Madeline Brandyweed checks in. Back to serve for the Thundering Herd will be Jaden Jacobs, who, by the way, is a red shirt who served some time at Concord University. Agabelli's going to set up Jesse Holly on the tip kill here, dug out by the Herd. Set up here now, far side for Strokes, jousting at the net, punched over by Marciniak, and the Thundering Herd do get a free possession. Blocked at the net on the Thundering Herd side. Dug out and kept alive by Leon, who just checked into the game. Set up, thrown over. Simon with a diving dig. Marciniak goes cross court for Holly. Dug out by Shanks. Set up now here, back row attack. Out of bounds, set point. And the Falcons will take set number 3. They take a 2-1 lead, going into set number 4, looking to close out the match with that advantage.
You saw it right there, and a lot of times they say when your times get tough and when things get close, your best players step up. Callie Simon had not one, but 2 incredibly impressive digs right there to keep that point going. And it's not going to get mentioned, it's not going to show up in any kind of stat sheet either, but Marciniak's really quick jab to sort of throw that a little bit higher over the net, or a little bit higher
to get it over.
Backcourt. Yeah, there was, I believe it was DeBell, it might have even been Matt Muller. I couldn't get a great look at which player it was. They were sitting at the front of the net, and if Marciniak doesn't get a jab on that, that's going right back into BG's side of the net, and that's another point for Marshall. That doesn't show up, but that's a play from one of your best players and an excellent center in Isabel Marciniak, making a play that, again, doesn't show up, but that is a huge reason why they just won that point. And Callie Simon, we're spoiled to see such incredible libero play on what seems to be every single game, but that right there, 2 separate incredible digs on that point, and that is, again, a big reason why they just won that third set as well. My goodness.
I mean, of course, she is coming off of the spectacular season where she led the nation in digs and digs per set. That was, of course, following up when her predecessor, Madeline Garda, did the same thing, but she's looking out, and you actually see as teams are game planning for her now. She's getting less digs per set now. She's getting less digs overall in every match because teams are finding a way to shoot it away from her, despite the Falcons' best efforts to funnel the defense in towards Callie, because that is the plan. That is always the plan with this team. Funnel that defense in towards Callie Simon. We will step aside, and when we return, we will have set number 4 and possibly the final set of action. This is BGSU Volleyball live on Mixler, Falcon Radio, the TuneIn Radio app, and all part of the Bowling Green Radio Network. Thank you for listening. We'll be right back.
welcome you back to the Stroh Center here in Bowling Green, Ohio for some volleyball action. Falcons lead the Marshall Thundering Herd 2-1. One of the obvious stats that you can look at and usually tell the story of a set, a lot of times it's hitting percentage for a team. BG has led in hitting percentage compared to the Thundering Herd all 3 sets, and we could argue that tells a pretty good story. They won the first set, they won the third set, and if they didn't have, a collapse at 24-20 up in that second set, they would have won the match already, and this would be over and done with. And so I think that does an accurate job, Donovan, of kind of telling the story of how well BG's played, and now they've perhaps outplayed, set by set, outplayed Marshall just a little bit. Regardless, we got a 4 set to play, and Marshall's going to be a tough one to put away for good. Marciniak with the serve gets up and over. It's going to be an attempt now for Dibble on the kill. That's dug out by Simon. Marciniak now to Brandui. That's dug out by Weber. Now Horla sets up. That's going to be dug out by Simon. Marciniak now setting up. This one's going to be, it looks like, Jesse Holly. And now at a setup opportunity, that's going to be dug out by the Falcons. Now Weber digs it out. Again, set up, and that's going to be struck so hard there by Lauren Matt Muller. Got a little bit of piece of it, the Falcons did, but really nowhere to go with it. They got down, and that ball was hit so hard, such little time to react. A couple of nice kill opportunities there beforehand was Joelle Coulter that kind of helped keep them in it. It's going to be the setter, Gabrielle Coulter, to serve. Simon digs it out. Now it's going to be Holly now set up there for Askin. Now it's going to be Coulter setting up once again for Matt Muller. This one blocked at the net. Excellent play there by Madeline Brandui. She and, of course, Katie Kidwell, who not currently in the match, have been excellent at all night. Point BG now all tied up, 1 point apiece, as it's going to be Taylor Haberlin to serve from the left side. Haberlin's serve gets up and over. It's going to be dug out by DeBell. Coulter sets up now for her sister, Joelle Coulter. That's dug out. Now Marciniak going to set it for Askin. Askin tipped to the net and dug out by DeBell. Now it's going to be, again, Gabrielle Coulter setting up this time for Conley. Dug out by Simon. Now Marciniak sets up once again for Askin. That dug out by Weber. Now Coulter again. DeBell. That one's going to fall. Callie Simon with a nice diving effort. Couldn't quite get it to fall. Great job there by none other than Sierra DeBell, who we have talked about a lot here thus far. That is her 17th kill of the match. She has done a whale of a job, especially since that first set.
And really, outside of her, she's really the only one providing the offense. Got a couple players with 7 and one with 8 kills, but DeBell is basically the offense for Marshall right now, as we see a kill brought in here by the Falcons.
Madeline Brandui with an outstanding play right there. Nowhere to go for the Thundering Herd, was right at their feet. Point BG now all tied up at 2. Once again, it's going to be Simon back to serve. That is now Brandui's 13th kill on the match. She and Kidwell are leading the charge in that regard. It's going to be Coulter now setting up for Conley. Conley blocked at the net by Askin and Kidwell, who just checked in. Weber now sets up for DeBell. Nice digging opportunity. That's going to fall out of bounds, though. A great diving effort made by Taylor Haberland, but ultimately couldn't get it to fall anywhere. Again, a nice dig effort there by the Falcons. Couldn't get it to go. Who else but Sierra DeBell? That is now her 18th kill of the match. Incredible job there thus far. Weber now with the serve. It's going to be dug out. Now Marciniak sets up for Kidwell. Kidwell, nice strike, dug out by Weber. It's going to be Kovacic. Now Sam Kidwell again. This one's going to be tipped and perfectly placed just over the front of the net. 2 diving efforts made by players, and Conley, it looked like, was crashed into. Might have been a little bit of a head collision.
We saw 3 different Marshall players all dive in, and right now, Shelby Conley, I think, took the brunt of that one. She's still kind of shaking out her shoulder right there. She dove right in the middle. May have had a player land on one of her arms.
Looks like she was shaking it off a little bit. Told the ref, I'm fine. Play continues. DeBell's attempt blocked at the net by Marciniak and Kidwell. Conley with the effort now. That's going to be dug out by Icabelli. Kidwell again with the tip. This one's going to go right back to BG's side. Now it's going to be Marciniak setting up for Askin. Askin with the set. That's going to be dug out. Now Weber setting up for DeBell. DeBell with the strike. DeBell, and no one's going to be getting that one. Nice diving attempt by Haberlin, but again, very nice placement by Sierra DeBell. She just keeps adding on the kills, and she has really elevated her game to a much, much higher level since that first set. That is now her 19th, kill on the match, as Sarah Shank, who just recently checked in, now planning to serve for the Thundering Herd. They lead 4-3. Haberlin digs it out. Marciniak now going to set up for Askin. And Askin took it right to seemingly the face area of Joelle Coulter. She tried to get down to play the ball up. Ultimately couldn't do anything off their fingertips and behind her. BG ties it up 4 apiece, as it's going to be Jacqueline Askin now back to serve for the Falcons. Askin going to be serving from the left side. She gets the go-ahead from the official. Her serve is up, and that's going to be over. That's dug out by Shank. Now Coulter with a deception move. Nice effort there by asking to save it. Marciniak now going to set up, and they're going to get an attempt there from Holly. Now it's going to be a Thundering Herd. And at first I wanted to say a block for the Falcons, and while it was blocked, ultimately fell out of bounds. That's going to be yet another kill for Sierra DeBell. Folks, if you're listening, I don't know how else to tell you. She's good. That's 20 kills.
Spectacular.
That's 20 kills on the match, and she's now back to serve. Marshall leading 5-4. Dug out by Icabelli. Now Marciniak to set up for Kidwell. Kidwell, it was blocked right back into her. Then put back over. Now the Thundering Herd scrambling at the net. Now the Falcons kind of scrambling. It's going to be Askin just playing it back over, trying to get reset. Now it's going to be an effort there by Isa Dostal. You had a diving effort and a falling effort from the likes of Sierra DeBell. You had a falling effort from, I believe that was Joel Coulter. A lot of dysfunction on 1 point from both sides. Falcons lucky enough to come out on top there. Tie this one up at 5 apiece. It's going to be Katie Kidwell, the sophomore middle blocker, back to serve for the Falcons. She has had a great day for herself with 15 kills thus far. Coulter's now going to set up for DeBell. DeBell, it's going to be dug out by Icabelli. Marciniak with a deception move, not fooling anyway. Weber gets a setup. Now you have Joel Coulter. That's going to be dug out by Holly. Now you got scrambling on the Falcons side. Nice effort there by Icabelli to save it. DeBell with a nice play. She was ready to hit it, and I think she got a hollow that was either from Weber or Schenk that basically yelled, duck and let that go. That one barely did fall out of bounds. Great awareness there by her teammates.
That barely brushed her on the arm, too. I mean, she's lucky that she didn't hit that one. And that one actually just fell right near the line. That could have gone either way at any moment in time. And she's just lucky she didn't brush it.
Jaden Jacobs now with the service dug out now from Marciniak to set up for Brandewey. Brandewey, that's dug out and sent right back over by DeBell. Now we're going to have Marciniak once again, this time for Holly. Simon now setting up Marciniak. Again, Holly going to try one more time. That's tipped to the net. Nice diving attempt there by Sarah Schenk, and another one by Gabrielle Coulter. It's going to be Marciniak now to Holly once again. That one tipped at the net and falls on Marshall's side. At some point, you keep trying and trying, and you try again, and eventually that ball's going to fall on their side of the court. Jessie Holly with a nice kill right there for the Falcons. They tie it up with Marshall once again, 6 apiece. It's going to be the setter, Isabel Marciniak, to serve for the Falcons.
One thing I've noticed from the setter, Gabrielle Coulter, I don't know if it's just because she's wearing a knee brace or if it's a result of the injury of why she's wearing the knee brace. She's kind of been running a little bit awkwardly. She's not doing a typical run. She's been more kind of galloping almost. And we've seen a couple of awkward plays. There's apparently a lot of sweat on the floor as Amber Weber is
hard at work.
She's literally going from like an entire square near that 10-foot line to about halfway on the court, just mopping up sweat. Somebody over there is either covered in lotion or something that's causing the floor to be slick.
Gabrielle Coulter, 12 digs. She has not necessarily been impacting the game the way she does. That was a really nice strike there, but will look to be her sister, Joelle Coulter, who's made a lot of impact recently. Not so much in this match. Hit it so hard, went right into Marciniak's chest. She just had nowhere to take that ball. As now Marshall pulls ahead once again. They lead 7-6 as the setter, Gabrielle Coulter, to serve. That one goes off the net and dug out. Now it's going to be an opportunity for that being Holly. That's dug out by Weber. Now an opportunity for Joelle Coulter. She gets another kill, very nicely placed, despite a diving attempt there by Callie Simon. Marshall extends their lead to 2. They now lead 8-6, and a very nice job there by Coulter. We'll see if she tries to find a rhythm for herself. She has 9 kills now, just with the 5 errors. Serve is up and over once again from Gabrielle Coulter. Opportunity, that's from Brandewey. That's dug out by Weber. Now Conley going to give it an effort. Simon digs it out. Marciniak now to Holly again. This one going to fall. A good attempt there by DeBell. We've seen a lot of great diving efforts in this match, and a lot of them have gone for naught. But Falcons get a nice point there. They're able to get a point back. Now they only trail by 1. It's going to be, it looks like, recently checked in Taylor Haberlin to serve on this one. She's on the court with, of course, Marciniak, Kovacic, Madeline Brandewey, and, of course, looks like we also have Jacqueline Askin.
Now, the back official there with the flag actually called that one out of bounds, but he was hesitant. The first official just all up and just shot his arm towards the Falcons side, and the other official agreed with him in the end. Service ace there by Haberlin.
Haberlin put it up, and it wasn't necessarily that well placed, but DeBell with a little bit too much of a line drive on the dig, and nobody able to get to it in time. That's a big point for the Falcons. Now tied up at 8 as Haberlin goes back to serve again. DeBell this time going to get it to her setter. Now set up now for Conley. Conley, as she was getting ready to launch that one, just kind of had this look in her eye like she was just focused, and she put a little extra oomph on that one. You could tell by the way she hit it, and now Marshall pulls ahead once again. They lead 9-8 here. Fourth set, Falcons up 2-1, as it's going to be Joelle Coulter to serve. That one's dug out. Marciniak now sets up for Brandywee. Nice dig there by Amber Weber. A tip kill attempt by DeBell, not going to happen. Brandywee now with an attempt. A diving effort there by Joelle Coulter. Incredible job to put that one over. Now it's going to be Askin. Askin, powerful shot, but she didn't get to it. They're trying to rule a tip, and they're going to. It looked like, couldn't tell necessarily when Joelle Coulter made the dive if she got a piece of it or not. The officials ruled that she did. It almost was a blessing in disguise.
I'm pretty sure Danielle Tomic was over there. She was ready with her card, and in fact, now I believe we're seeing the card from, actually now we're going to have a conference between the coaching staff before, but I think Mitch Jacobs is very much considering his green card.
See if he decides to play this one out.
3 challenges per match.
Couldn't see from here, from our vantage point, from what we saw, and again, we are nothing close to the coaches and players that are able to see this so fast, but I didn't necessarily think it was touched, but referees and all the players and coaches have a much better vision than myself or you do, so
I have a quick
question. To trust them. Yeah, what's up?
Where can I get those shoes that the Falcon players are wearing? Those are some really nice Nike shoes right there. They're like orange with a white base.
White combo. No, that's a nice.
That is a very nice combo that they're wearing. As we wait, okay, they've finished the sweat break now. I just had to ask that when now that we had a chance.
No, that's a fair point. Those are nice looking shoes, no doubt. Complement the jerseys very nicely. Callie Simon now back to serve, tied up at 9 here in this set.
More sweat.
We're having another sweat break. It looks like Amber Weber going to show them a spot where it needs wiped up.
Yeah,
She's been the leading factor, I guess you could call it, or influencer of what's getting wiped up, and as a result, I think it's also been her that's been sweating the most. She has been given an effort there as their libero.
When you're all over the floor jumping around, you're allowed to sweat with how much effort she's been putting in there, and she's still wiping some of it from her brow, and now she is ready to go.
Simon's serve is up and over. That's dug out by DeBell. Now it's going to be set for Coulter to Conley. Conley, that's tipped partially at the net by Askin, but that falls right where no Falcon is. That's a point for Marshall. They take the lead once again, 10-9. That was a nice setup there. Ultimately resulted from a sort of a so-so serve there to DeBell, and then she got it to her setter Coulter, and then they had options on either side. Chose to go to the right side of Conley. It worked out pretty well. It's going to be Amber Weber to serve. That's dug out. Now Marciniak sets up for Askin. Askin, it looked like, tried to do a little bit of just a shove that we've seen Kidwell do a few times on kill attempts, but she kind of just gave it a nice carry. Way out of bounds. 11-9 now. Falcons trail. Weber back to serve once again. Weber's serve is up and over. That one's dug out by, it looks like, Haberlin. Kidwell with a really hard kill attempt. Can the Thundering Herd save this? They cannot, despite a great attempt there by Autumn Ellswick, who's checking in for the first time in a while. And, of course, Gabrielle Coulter trying to do the distance bump to no avail. Kidwell, that all started with Kidwell doing what Kidwell does best. An incredibly powerful shot there. Ultimately going to be a kill for her. She now has 16, leading the Falcons. Icabelli with a serve. That's going to be a service ace for Paulina Icabelli. That one right at the ground of Amber Weber. Excellent serve by the Falcons, a big service ace. They tie this one up yet again in the fourth set. All squared away at 11. We'll see if Icabelli can't replicate those results here again.
Yeah, Paulina Icabelli led the team with 37 service aces last year. Her sister was the next closest, I believe. Though I did not record on my sheet how many she had. She was the next closest.
It looks like that was an attack error, I believe. Yeah, attack error by Shelby Conley. The pressure really enforced there by Askin and who else but Katie Kidwell. Kidwell and, of course, Madeline Brainway do such a great job at trying to intimidate and deteriorate players from taking a hard shot there at just past the net. Timeout now called by head coach Mitch Jacobs there of Marshalls. The Falcons take the lead 12-11. He's getting kind of vocal in the huddle, some things that he definitely sees that need correcting. And the reality is that Falcons really just kind of stepped up their game, and that when they've had opportunities offensively, they haven't been sending balls, just free plays over the net. They've been getting real kill opportunities. They've been keeping the Thundering Herd sort of on their tails. And I don't want to say Marshall hasn't been prepared, but it's definitely taken their toll when you have to be ready and you have to be able to sort of account for more difficult shot attempts more often.
Always amuses me when the huddle that called the timeout because they're on the losing end of things or they need the timeout breaks their huddle first. Usually I think that oftentimes just they get whatever they need to say out first I don't know, the Falcons always take forever in their huddles. I'm not to say forever, but they always take their time. They always make sure they get things right, which is very important, because it is very important that the Falcons just maintain their effort, maintain their mentality of let's close this out now. No set 5 tonight, no OT tonight.
You see a lot of coaches, either one, have their game plan all set, they have what they want to say over with. That's a service error there by the Falcons, their first of the 4th set. I believe, if my count is right, that's their 8th of the match. Paulina Icabelli couldn't get that one to fall, but yeah, I agree with you. I think some coaches like to use all the time to talk about as much as they can, instill as many ideas into their players as they can. Some have one thing they want to emphasize, or maybe 2 things they get it done to say, all right, break, let's get it going. But
that 12-11 lead, by the way, that's now a 12-12 tie, was their first time leading in this set too, I believe.
Yeah, Shank with the serve, that's going to be dug out and then blocked by the Thundering Herd. Back to the Falcons side, it's going to be an attempt for Askin. Now great effort there by Shank to save it. DeBell tipped at the net and then dug out by Icabelli. Marciniak goes for a bit of a tip kill. Not going to happen. Now set up for Coulter. Coulter, that's dug out at the net. Unbelievable job there by the Thundering Herd to keep this one alive. It's going to be Askin trying again. Askin blocked at the net. It looks like they're going to rule a net violation on the Thundering Herd. Before that,
oh yeah, correction, never mind. I thought they called it on the Falcons for some reason.
Caught just a little bit of the net there on that block attempt, but it can't be stated before. That was an impressive job. They scrambled, each player diving for just a punching attempt to play that ball over to even keep the play going. Falcons now lead 13-12. It's going to be Askin to serve, and another great service ace. I beg your pardon, Amber Weber diving to save that one. She's laughing coming up. She
it
just
rolled.
Knows.
What
are you going to do?
What happened is it rolled on her arms into her face and then onto the floor. It's a very funny play.
It's going to be Kidwell now with a beautiful tip kill. A little bit of jousting at the net after the initial serve by Askin. Kidwell with yet another kill. That being her 17th of the night. Again, she leads all Falcons. In second is Madeline Brandywee with 13. She's trying to almost get in contention again with, of course, Sierra DeBell for the lead of the match. DeBell, of course, with 20. Askin serve once again is up and over. That's dug out by Weber. It's going to be Coulter now. DeBell with the kill opportunity. Hits Marciniak, and Kidwell falls right back onto the Thundering Herd side. I, honest to God, almost thought that fell right on the Falcon side, hence why I didn't know what to call.
I thought it did too.
But, hey, the referees know I'm clearly just
the
visually
second
impaired.
official is right there, so.
Yeah, I'm just visually impaired, I'll admit it.
Yeah.
15-13 Falcons still lead. It's going to be DeBell with the serve. It's up and over, dug out by Paulina Icabelli. It's now going to be Holly with the kill attempt, thrown right back to their side. Holly going to try again. That's a beautiful shot. Perfect arc to get it past the would-be blockers weighing at the net. And right in the middle of what was, I believe, Sierra DeBell and Amber Weber. Again.
Going under the radar right now, thanks to the huge efforts by Katie Kidwell, Madeline Brandywee. Jessie Holly has 12 kills, and she's hitting .345. I mean, this is her comeback game right now. When we think about her season coming back from the injury she sustained in the offseason, this is her comeback game, I would believe.
That's a nice tip kill. It looked like that was from number 1, Ivana Trencheva. I'm not sure 100% if that was her. We'll look for some confirmation here real fast. That was indeed by Ivana Trencheva. Nice play there. Caught a little bit off guard by the Falcons. They lead 16-14. It's now going to be Lauren Muller to serve. She has not served, or I beg your pardon, that's actually Mayan or Mian Weldon with an attempted serve, but ultimately for not, they couldn't get anything going after the initial kill attempt there by the Falcons, who now lead 17-14. It's going to be by Isabel Marciniak to serve.
And now Coach Jacobs is trying to argue something. It did definitely land out of bounds, but I think he's trying to say, how could the official have known it? Because she had to step backwards to avoid it.
Coulter sets up for Trinche. Once again, it's blocked to the net, sent back to the Thundering Herd. Coulter again going to set this one for DeBell. Nice diving dig there by Simon. Marciniak now going to set up for Holly. Holly sends that one just a little too far out of bounds. A good eye there by the Marshall Thundering Herd.
Here comes the green card from Tomic. The entire Falcon team on the floor right now is insisting that it was tipped. And Tomic did not hesitate to jump from her seat and slap that green card over to the second official there. We'll see. It was definitely a possibility of the tip. Again, I wish we had a replay monitor that we could look at here. They don't show a replay up on the scoreboard either. And the most we can see of a replay is if we look all the way across the court to the scorer's table and see a small sliver of the screen with a bunch of ant people on it.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. That's probably not going to help us too much. So we're going to wait for the ruling and see what comes out here. Again, I was looking more so as Holly was prepping for the hit to actually hit it. And at first I thought they were challenging the out-of-bounds call. Thought that was pretty clear. Didn't necessarily see if there was a tip at the front of the net. And Coach Tomich and the entire BG side seemed very confident. We'll see what happens as a result. And each team, well, I should say, Coach Mitch Jacobs of Marshall using this opportunity to do a little bit of discussion with his players and some ideas, and really one of his assistant coaches actually doing more of the talking in this particular huddle.
Oftentimes in these moments for the Falcons, it's a players-only meeting.
Yep.
Maybe one of the assistant coaches will walk up and get in some 2 cents, but mainly it's about the players at this moment, and that's just how they run things. It works. It really does. I mean, they go up there and they'll just discuss things. They'll just make sure that they get it all right, and that's really, they've got some really good leaders on this team. And Isabel Kovacic, Jessie Holly, Callie Simon, all of them are really good leaders. Isabel Marciniak, she has been a brilliant leader for this team since she had to step into the center role her freshman year due to an injury that occurred.
And we've seen it, again, we've seen it on display multiple times, the differences that exist in some of the coaching styles we see just from different coaches. And both of these coaches have been successful. Coach Tomich was last year's MAC Coach of the Year for a reason. Coach Jacobs has been at Marshall for 17 years for a reason. Both coaches clearly know what they're doing, but it does go to say kind of the different styles that exist. Coach Tomich definitely has a belief in her players leading themselves and conducting their own business. Coach Jacobs likes to make sure that his ideas are getting carried out by the players. And I give credit because it really is great to see. We see such different styles and ways in which teams approach things. And when you see two coaches and two programs that for the most part have been fairly successful, it's nice to see how those styles kind of clash and who ultimately comes away victorious.
The replay is taking
a while.
It actually,
hence why we just went on a little bit of a monologue there about coaching styles.
Coach Tomich has now actually joined the huddle where I believe it was just
it looked like she just said.
Yeah.
From the looks of it that we saw, she kind of went up and said, I don't know why this is taking so long. It looks like another player said, I'm not sure either. Well, Coach Tomich shrugged her shoulders, walked away.
If it was clear that it didn't happen, or if it was clear it did happen, it would have been over by now. I think they're really taking their time to check every instance of the play, zooming in.
They're really looking for probably
okay, it looks like they finally have the call. They're giving it over to the PA and the scorers right now. We'll see how the second official rules this, and it is Marshall point.
Well, my nowhere near as accurate eye served me right for once. I didn't think that one was tipped, but ultimately that's what the officials are going to rule as well. The ball was not tipped on the kill attempt from Jessie Holly. That's going to fall out of bounds. The score now officially 17-15. Falcons still ahead here in this fourth set. Again, BG up 2-1 thus far. It's going to be the setter for the Thundering Herd, Gabrielle Coulter, to serve. Serve is up and over, dug out by Simon. It's going to be Marciniak now setting up for Askin, or I beg your pardon, Kovacic. Now Coulter sets up. This one's going to be for Conley. Conley dug out by Simon. Now it's going to be played from Brandon, and Simon's just going to play it over. Free play essentially for the Thundering Herd. Now it's going to be Trincheva on a beautiful block there. That led due in large part to none other than Isabel Kovacic. Madeline Brandon there as well to try and prevent different areas to be exploited. Beautiful block there on a kill attempt by Trincheva. Point BG. Falcons ahead now, 18-15. It's going to be, it looks like Taylor Haberlin, who just checked in, now to serve for the Falcons.
I sometimes feel like that is such an underrated part of Kovacic's game. She has 4 total blocks in this game. She is so strong on that right side when it comes to blocking and assisting Katie Kidweller or Madeline Brandewey, whoever would be in the game at the top.
Scramble from the Falcons, ultimately killed by Askin. It's going to be point BG once again. A nice killer by Askin. Marshall initially in that point struggling to get themselves under wraps and get an opportunity going. 19-15 Falcons lead. They're getting closer and closer to the red zone as Haberlin now going to serve once again. Serve is up and over, dug out by DeBell. It's going to be Coulter now setting up for Trincheva. Trincheva, very nice strike there. Pretty much right half the players at the net, just a little off the fingertips and falling harmlessly to the ground. A nice point and a much needed point for the Thundering Herd. It's going to be Autumn Ellswick, again, player we have not seen check in very often. She's a 5'5" freshman, setter defensive specialist from Winfield, West Virginia. Her serve is up and over. It's going to be Brandon with us with a opportunity now. And it looked like there was perhaps a lack of rotation from somebody on Marshall's side. The entire middle of the court really, from the short end all the way to the long end, wide open to hit. Brandon doing a great job there, taking what was given to her, taking the easy kill. That is now her 14th kill on the night. She now, again, the Falcons have 4 players with double-digit kills. Serve is up and over from Simon. Weber with a nice dig. Conley with a dig attempt, or a kill attempt. They're going to rule that ball as hitting that what appeared to be the back left corner. Point for Marshall. A big kill there as they try to halt any momentum from the Falcons. They cut the deficit to 3. Falcons, of course, in the red zone, leading 20-17. But this match and this set, far from over. Weber's serve now up and over. That's dug out by Haberlin. Kill attempt by Kate Kibble off the net and dug out by Weber. Coulter now sets up for Conley. Conley kind of swipes it over. Marciniak now. Simon going to set up an opportunity for Askin. Askin blocked at the net, sent back to BG side. Now Marciniak to Kovacic. Kovacic, they're going to rule, appeared to be.
I believe it was a blocking error there on one of the players for Marshall. I will get confirmation on who it was, but it is a point for BG. And now it is gut check time for the Thundering Herd. If they want a 5th set, they've got to play. If they want a 5th set, they have got to play practically perfect.
Coulter now to Conley. Conley tipped at the net. That one's going to be dug out. Now Marciniak sets up for Kidwell. Mistimes it, but it works out anyway. Great use of the fingertips. He stayed with the point despite the mistimed jump. And then ultimately resulted in a position so well that none of the Thundering Herd were in any kind of great position to make a play on it. Ultimately falls to the ground. BG now leads 22-17. It's going to be a timeout called by head coach Mitch Jacobs of the Thundering Herd. Falcons with what seems to be their largest lead now in the better part of the last 10 points. 3 points away from closing this match out, winning the 4th set. We'll see if they can carry it out. Again, that was a really impressive. You see a lot of times those ill-advised jumps end up resulting in free plays. Kidwell with nice positioning there, just with the fingertips.
I honestly have no idea. I have no idea how she got that one off. I don't think she could do that again if she tried. I think that was just one of those things where she mistimed it, but she was able to time it better a second time. I honestly have no idea how that one happened, but hey, look for that. And if in that Marshall huddle right now, the code red has been issued. It's time for them to either play perfect, basically perfect, all but perfect, or get the buses warmed up.
That's the reality. At this point, you have to, your main beam.
They issued the code red.
Has to be. Look, this is do or die. We got to force a 5th set, or we can get on the bus and we can go home. Disappointed.
Well, to the hotel, because they've got 2 more matches.
Fair point. Yeah, good point. Forgot this is the BGSU Invitational after all. Please excuse me. But big point here for the Falcons. Can they close out this set and this match? Or can the Thundering Herd force a decisive 5th set? It's going to be Icabelli to serve. That one's dug out by Weber. Gabrielle Coulter sets up for DeBell. That one dug out by Simon. Marciniak now going to set up this one for Askin. Askin on the right side, dug out by DeBell. Coulter sets up. DeBell going to try again. And Sierra DeBell with a really nice shot. It looked like that was partially tipped both at the net and by a diving Callie Simon, but nobody really in a good enough position to dig that ball out. Sierra DeBell now with 22 kills, leading all players on the match, playing incredible, especially since that 1st set. It's going to now be Sarah Schenk, I believe, to serve for the Thundering Herd. Tips to the net, but then goes over. Dug out by Icabelli and now set up for Askin. That's tipped at the net and dug out by Schenk. Gabrielle Coulter now sets up Sierra DeBell. DeBell again. Little tipped at the net again by Kidwell and Marciniak. They've been trying to make that presence known at the front of the net.
Quick timeout here.
Timeout by Coach Tomish. 22-19, Falcons still ahead, but back-to-back impressive kills by Sierra DeBell. At this point, anybody that's been listening from the start is probably annoyed by how much we've been mentioning her name. But look, she's got 23 kills. She has a 322 hitting percentage. And she, I believe, only had 3 after the 1st set. She's got 19, or I beg your pardon, 20 since at this point. She has done a great job of, at extended periods of time, carrying this Marshall offense and keeping them in this game. 22-19 in the 4th set, this is not over.
Yeah, no, certainly. And for the Falcons in that huddle, right now the message is we need to get this over with. Do not let Marshall have any sort of momentum or confidence to think they can force a 5th set. Go out there, win this next point, put a dagger in it, and try to come out with this one. This right now is when the difference between championship teams and good teams are made. You're up by a decent margin. 3 points, pretty decent. You got to maintain that. You got to maintain that confidence without becoming cocky. You've got to be able to sit there and say, we've got this, but we don't have it just yet. They've got to keep their mind in the game until this match is finished with.
It's a chance for the Falcons to get off to a great start here in the BGSU Invitational and get on their winning ways, but Marshall not going to give up quiet. They're not going to go away quietly. Shank with the serve. Now Kidwell with a hard kill. That's a nice dig there by Autumn Ellswick. Scrambling there from BG. Nice running effort by Simon. It's going to set up a kill attempt by Askin. That's dug out by Shank. It's going to be Gabrielle Coulter to Sierra DeBell. Dug out by Simon. Now we've got Marciniak going to make a play for Askin once again. That's dug out by Weber, the libero. Now DeBell with an opportunity. That one, nice dig there by Taylor Haberlin. Now Poliakabel is going to set up a nice tip opportunity for Knott back on BG's side. Askin going to try once again. It's going to be dug out by Shank. Now Gabrielle Coulter again. DeBell with another opportunity. That one tipped and dug out by Simon. Marciniak, not a Kidwell, goes with a tip attempt. Weber again with a nice dig. Deception move by Coulter, not fooling anyone. Askin, now a little bit of discombobulation. Free play from Simon. It's going to be a tip kill, and it's going to be Askin with the heads-up play. Askin trying to get another kill. That one dug out by DeBell. Now DeBell with a kill attempt, and that one's going to fall. It's going to strike Kidwell and Marciniak and fall right on BG's side. What a point and what a rally it was, and who were better to finish it for the Marshall Thundering Herd than Sierra DeBell. That's 24 kills on the night for her.
One of the Marshall players, he looks like he could have played football back in his day. He is so into it right now. He's all over the court. And now we see a service ace.
Service ace by Sarah Shank. She has really helped get her team rolling. It's going to be a timeout called by Coach Tomich. Not liking what she sees, and why should she? That 22-19 lead they just had has now since gone to a 22-21 lead. And we've seen every single set at this point be very, very close down the stretch. We saw the Falcons close out set number 1. We saw them go up 24-20 in set number 2, ultimately letting them tie it up at 24-24, squandering an opportunity at 25-24 and losing that set 27-25. The third set, Marshall tried to make it interesting before the Falcons ultimately put it away 25-22. And now here we are. The Falcons had at one point a 5-point advantage, and now it's 22-21. Marshall appears to have some momentum. Coach Tomich going to try and draw up some ideas. For once, not necessarily just like the players kind of conduct themselves. She's got ideas and she's got things she wants to emphasize. Marshall knows this is do or die, and the Falcons would rather not go to a 5th set. And at this point, it's a matter of how can we try and set up better opportunities, and how can we try and contain Sierra DeBell? Because again, I did check the stats here in the little bit of break that we had. She only had 3 kills after the first set. She has averaged 7 since. She has essentially put the offense on her back time and time again. And Sarah Shank has really produced some good serves that have kept the Falcons off balance here in this 4th set to help allow them to come back. Can they get it done? Who knows? That's why we play the game. Shank now to serve from the right side once again. Simon digs it out. Marciniak going to set up for Kidwell. Kidwell tipped at the net and dug out by Ellswick. Now it's going to be DeBell. Hard strike, dug out, nearly hits the ceiling light. Marciniak, a little bit of an iffy set there, or iffy bump there. Battle at the net. Katie Kidwell strikes it right at the ankle of Ellswick, kicking back onto their side. That's a point, BG. 23-21 they now lead. Katie Kidwell now with her 19th kill of the match. A powerful strike, terrific placement. Falcons 2 points away from victory, as it's going to be Jacqueline Askin to serve along the left side.
Lightning struck there with Katie Kidwell. She put that one down, I'm telling you.
It's going to be a deception move from Coulter, not fooling anybody. Marciniak now makes a play. It's going to be Askin, or I beg your pardon, Holly trying to make a play. DeBell, kill attempt, tipped at the net and falling backwards. DeBell tried to fool him with a bit of a softer strike. Kidwell and Marciniak both looks like mistimed it a little bit, but Kidwell, when you're 6 foot, you have a little bit of that wingspan to work with. She was able to tip it back. DeBell couldn't react, and it's match point BG here in set number 4 as the Falcons try to win 3-1. Askin serves. It's going to be dug out by Weber. Now it's Coulter. Coulter sets up for DeBell. DeBell, that's a beautifully placed kill there, right at the hands on the ground of Jacqueline Askin. 24-22. The Marshall Thundering Herd do a great job of holding BG and getting rid of their serve, a side out. And now DeBell, who just had yet another kill, that's 25, gets ready to serve. Still match point for the Falcons. They've got 2 more coming. DeBell serve is up and over. Ikebelli digs it out. Marciniak sets up for Kidwell. Kidwell with the game ender.
Who better than Katie Kidwell to finish the game? Point, set, match, Falcons.
How about that? Katie Kidwell with an absolute forceful strike right at Sierra DeBell, 2 of the hardest hitting attackers in this match, and the 2 leading killers for their team get the job done. That's going to be a 3-1 victory for the Falcons. They get off to a positive start here at the BGSU Invitational. What a job there, and what a shot. As soon as you hit it right to DeBell, a diving effort for Knott. That also seals, you know, no big deal, nothing too impressive by any means. Katie Kidwell now finishes with 20 kills for the match.
20 kills, 5 total blocks, 4 digs, hitting 372. Katie Kidwell, gonna go ahead and say it right now, player of the match. She was very impressive out there, showing what she is, and that is an impact player for this BGSU squad as they go in and start and get their first victory at home. Now, granted, this is only their second match at home, but this is their first victory at home. They're now 1-1 at home. They'll be back in action again, I believe, is it tomorrow? Yes, tomorrow against IUPUI at 6 p.m. tomorrow. They'll be looking to extend a winning streak from 2 to 3. The Falcons right now have to be riding high. This was a close set. Don't get me wrong. This was a close match all in all. We had 2 sets go to extra points. All sets ended within, believe, what was it, 3 of each other? I think this was actually, if I look back at it, was actually
it was obviously
the biggest
extra
spread.
points in set 1.
Yeah,
it was
extra points in set 1, extra points in set 2, and the last 2 sets were 25-22 for BG to win it all 3-1. All in all, you just got to be, the Falcons have to be proud of the effort they displayed here. They dueled a very good Marshall team, a Marshall team that's coming off of a victory against the 9-2 Georgia Tech team. So all in all, just a really great effort from the Falcons here. Katie Kidwell put in her name to it, but you can't forget Isabel Kovacic added 4 total blocks to her name. I believe it was in the kill department for Kovacic. She had somewhere around 12. Jessie Holly coming in, making an impact. Madeline Brandon, that's what you love about this Falcon team. They are so well-rounded in every way. Even when one of your star players doesn't do the kind of impact you would expect. Thus is 35 digs for Callie Simon. Okay, that's a decent number.
35 is impressive.
35 is impressive, but we've seen her be up in the 40s, the 50s sometimes. I don't actually, maybe the 50s, I don't know, maybe once. But you see other players like Isabel Marciniak, who has 60 assists doing her job. 16 assists, a double-double for her, 1 kill. Everywhere in every shape on this team, there's players who can do just about everything. And that's what you love about this Falcon squad. That's why this Falcon squad could go so far when it comes to their conference, which is coming up here this next week.
That well-rounded team and that well-rounded effort you mentioned really well. Something we saw from the Falcons. Jessie Holly, who had not played much of that first set at all, ends up contributing in a big way with 12 kills overall for the match. She also, as we mentioned, was huge in that first set, helping propel the Falcons to that first set victory, which proved huge when they ultimately couldn't close it out in set number 2. We also, of course, saw great efforts, of course, Kovacic with 10 kills, Kidwell with a fantastic effort, very powerful shots with 20 kills, Jacqueline Askin doing her part with 11, Madeline Brandy with 14, she and Kidwell doing a terrific job as well, setting a tone and a presence there at really in front of the net and at the net like they have done so many times. A great, well-rounded effort from the Falcons. A bit of a, I want to say disappointing, but definitely an effort that you would like to see more of from the Thundering Herd. They kept every set close. This is definitely a match that could have gone either way, no doubt, but you have to appreciate the magnificent performance of Sierra DeBell. 25 kills, leading all players in the match. Was terrific, and as we mentioned, only had 3 after that first set. She was on another level after that point, averaging 8 kills throughout the rest of those 3 sets. Remarkable job by her. You need a little bit more from Joelle Coulter. You need a little bit more from the likes of Sydney Conley early on. She stepped up at the end, ultimately finished second on the team with 11 kills, but Sierra DeBell, one whale of an effort that came up just a little bit short. Regardless, a great effort here at the Stroh. The Falcons get their first home win. They start off on the right foot here against, or really in the BGSU Invitational, I should say, and we'll see if they can carry that forward again tomorrow. They continue against IUPUI, but we'll go ahead and do our sign-off process here. So before we get out of here, we'd like to send out a couple of thank yous. First to our producer tonight, Shane Nissen. Thank you so much for pushing the buttons and making sure we were heard on the air in Bowling Green on 88.1 FM WBGU and around the world at BGSUFalcons.com and on Mixlr and on everywhere with all the technical difficulties we had. Thanks for bearing with us. Thanks for helping us out. Happy as always that we were able to get on air and have our voices heard. Also, of course, a big thank you to my broadcast partner, Donovan Mann. They're doing a terrific job as always. We'd also like to thank the following people, the athletic communication staff here at Bowling Green State University. Thank you so much. 1, for helping us get on air, and 2, for the wonderful stats provided at the end of each set. We also would like to thank Jim Bards, our Chief Technical Engineer at WBGU, Rick Bucell, Chairman of the Media Production and Studies Department at BGSU, Ken Garland, the Faculty Advisor of the Bowling